it up, ooh, back it up.
Back it up, I put on a show, I be acting up. If he ain't got no bread, I'm packing up. I need a rich nigga with a bankroll just so I can add it up. Say ho, my nigga got him an a-hole. He gon' listen and do what I say so. He know I'm only after the.
Hi, I'm Tassie and welcome back to my channel. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome home, and if you're a new subscriber, make yourself at home by clicking that subscribe button. And welcome to the third installment of our What Happened To series. And as you've read by the title, today we will be covering what happened to Barbie Doll Gang. For those of you that follow me on my various amount of socials, this was a video that was highly anticipated, that everyone was waiting on, and now the day is finally here. And for those of you that are new, you are probably thinking to yourself, what is the What Happened To series? Well, I will let you know in advance, this is a very new thing that I've done on my channel. This is like only the third time that I've done this. So the concept is still very new, but essentially what the What Happened To series is, it's a series where I will cover a person, a place, or a thing that once upon a time was like really, really popular, had a lot of influence, and just suddenly disappeared into the abyss, or essentially quote unquote fell off. The What Happened To series essentially covers a lot of like pop culture, past and present. Again, it's still fairly new, we're still in the works, but that's essentially what it is. So if you want, you can see my other two videos that I've made, which is What Happened To the Kiera Angels and What Happened To We Are Charmed, just to get an idea of what we're doing right now. But if you don't really care to get into that right now and you just want to focus on Barbie Doll Gang, that's fine too. So we'll just get straight into this video. But before we get into the video, I will give a quick disclaimer. This video is for entertainment / educational purposes. This is not to bash anyone. This is not to make fun of anyone, spill tea, spill anybody's business. Nothing messy is supposed to be done on this channel, let alone this video. All the things that I will be stating in this video are essentially receipts and stuff that I have gotten from the sources themselves, or things that I have found scattered around the internet, and personal opinions from fans and even people like myself that literally are just in here reporting back the news. And please understand that everyone that is mentioned in this video is mentioned for the sake of accuracy. So there might be some people that wish that they weren't a part of this video, that they weren't mentioned, that they weren't affiliated with certain people that are in this video. I cannot control that, so don't take it out on me. Again, this is all for fun. This is all for entertainment. So if you're gonna get in your feelings, just exit the video, because it just is what it is. So for those of you that are still here and you still want to see this video, the time has come. So sit back, relax, and hopefully you enjoy this video. So for starters, who or what exactly is Barbie Doll Gang? Barbie Doll Gang was a duo that consisted of the rappers Asian Doll and Cuban Doll. This duo was essentially two best friends that were helping each other achieve their dream careers and individual goals. They were one of the original hashtag best friend goals, and with their glam yet trap girl aesthetic, it made people take notice when they first came on the scene. Barbie Doll Gang really got the success that they were looking for when a viral video of Cuban Doll holding a Mac 11 and rapping to Asian Doll's No Flockin' remix had went viral, and everyone was tuned in. After that, all eyes were on the Gang of Two. Everyone wanted to know who these girls were. They were tuning into the music videos, tuning into the mixtapes. It was the big break that they had been looking for years. But shortly after that, fans started to notice the two get very distant with each other. Pictures started to be deleted, videos started to be deleted, and it was speculated that the two just weren't friends anymore, but nothing had ever been fully confirmed. And then one day, it got to the point to where it was just such a big public fallout, and this particular feud essentially was the catalyst of what we know today as the trap girl music era. So the question is, how did these two BFF powerhouses suddenly become enemies? And despite their influences in pop culture and the music industry, why are they often overlooked and downplayed? So first, I think it's important that we tell the history of how Barbie Doll Gang came to be and go from there. So in South Dallas, there was a young girl named Maisharon. She was the second oldest of 4 siblings. And in North Dallas, there was a young girl named Taylor. She was the middle child of both of her parents. So these two wouldn't cross paths until middle school, but in the meantime, they were still individually making names for themselves. Mai, as her family called her, was mainly known in the neighborhood because of her mother, who was an OG Crip, as she liked to say. This, mixed in with her already outgoing personality, made her pretty popular in her neighborhood. Taylor, on the other hand, had somewhat of a shy personality, but was very friendly and very goofy. On top of that, she was well known for her looks, but as well as her looks, she was also known for getting in them streets and fighting. So individually, both of these girls had a lot of clout and a lot of notoriety in their own respectable ways. So once these girls came together, it pretty much was just no hope for anybody else. So to my knowledge, when they first started this group, it wasn't originally called Barbie Doll Gang. It was called the Coke Girls. And then later on, they changed it to Barbie Doll Gang Worldwide. This is when they ended up giving each other their own individual nicknames. So Mai was now referred to as Asian Doll, and Taylor was now referred to as Cuban Doll. This caused a lot of their other members to follow suit and give themselves nicknames with the name doll in it. So there were names like American Doll, Spanish Doll, China Doll. You get the gist of it. And some of them came up with their own names that didn't have the word doll in them, but when they would refer to each other, they would still refer to each other as doll. You know how when you were younger, y'all always just had like these clique names, you know? It was one of those things at first, but eventually it became serious when the group started being spotted at a lot of different parties. Every time these girls would go out, the party would just be big. They were essentially the socialites of Dallas. Any party that they went to, they promoted that they were going to be there. And if Barbie Doll Gang was at the party, everybody was at the party. Barbie Doll Gang got so big that they went from just being girls that go to parties to becoming video vixens as well. So a few of the girls would legit take like road trips and flights to go to different cities and be in certain rappers' music videos. For the most part, the group was not focused on being a part of the music industry besides that, but then one day, Asian Doll just had the desire to become a rapper. It's been stated by both Cuban and Asian that the group itself was not very supportive of Asian Doll's decision, but of course, Cuban Doll being Asian Doll's best friend, she had her back 100%. And eventually, Asian Doll would release her first single called Keep Calm. After receiving mostly positive feedback, Asian Doll decided that she was going to take her rap career very seriously, while simultaneously, Cuban Doll decided that she was going to continue her modeling and video vixen career. Now, the modeling that Cuban Doll was doing, it was really beneficial to her and Asian Doll because she began to have a lot of connections with really big people in the industry, and every time she got a chance, she would always talk Asian Doll's name up. Not to mention, with her already having a decent following on platforms like Facebook and Instagram, anytime that she would play Asian Doll's music, that essentially was the promotion. It made a lot of people tune into what Asian Doll was doing and give her music a chance. So just to name a few artists that Asian Doll has been able to know and work with in the early stages of her career, there were people like Famous Dex, PNB Rock, Black Youngsta, Lil Sherm, Cody Shane, and the most notable, Chief Keef and all of Glow Gang, which essentially also helped Asian Doll with her music career, considering the fact that once they got co-signed by them, there was a whole city of Chicago that loved Asian Doll's music. Unfortunately, the more that Asian Doll's career grew, the smaller that Barbie Doll Gang became. There was a point in time where it was at least Asian Doll, Cuban Doll, and this one other girl that I could not find for the life of me. But the third member eventually stepped away too. And that's how the Barbie Doll Gang that people are most familiar with nowadays came to be. And little did this duo know what was waiting for them in the future. Now let's address the obstacles that essentially led to the downfall of Barbie Doll Gang as a group. So off the bat, let's talk about colorism and misogyny and how it played a role in Barbie Doll Gang. So for starters, we all know that Asian Doll is a dark-skinned black woman. There was always going to be some type of discrepancy simply because of that. She had no choice in that matter. But the problem is that Asian Doll was a dark-skinned black woman that feared nothing. When her and Cuban Doll first started coming out and getting attention, they wore a lot of makeup and clothes and did their hair in a way that wasn't typical for the time. So just to give you guys an idea of what this time period was, this was about 2014 to 2016. At this time, it was a lot of minimalism going on. It was like the mod color, the olive greens, the tans. Everyone wanted to be a makeup artist. Everyone wanted to be like a makeup YouTuber. We got eyebrows on fleek. We got highlighter. We have matte cosmetics. And no shade, because you live and you learn, but everyone pretty much was doing their makeup the exact same way, which gave them the exact same face. So just to give you guys an idea, that was essentially the era in which these girls became popular in. So just imagine, like, this is an era where everyone's doing like minimalism, or they have like acid wash jeans and a cute little crop top from Forever 21, and then in comes Asian Doll and Cuban Doll wearing these bright colors from their hair to their makeup. They got diamonds on their face. They got all these crazy little outfits on. They're wearing practically underwear in public, bathing suits, I mean, anything that you could think of. They came in and they was just like, girl, we're here with these combat boots on with diamonds on them. So obviously this made them stand out, but it especially made the two stand out because with them dressing like this, you would expect a pop star. You would expect something, I don't know, like Afro-futuristic, I guess. But to see these two girls with a tiara on, dressed like little magical fairies, talking about guns and being in the trap and finessing, just essentially making Chicago drill music while wearing a tutu. Like just put that into perspective. It definitely made them stand out because at this time, this did not exist. At this time, nobody was doing that. Even at this time, Nicki Minaj, the Harajuku Barbie herself, decided that she was gonna tone everything down. And she started wearing like gowns and sundresses and just wearing like regular wigs like everybody else. So this really was an era where everyone was pretty much like getting into their minimalist bag. And then you got these two girls that just come out with like all this goth stuff, and some of it was even BDSM related, like they had chokers and leather harnesses and everything. It helped with their appeal, obviously, but it also made a lot of people feel some type of way because again, all of this was being done by a dark-skinned black girl that was proud to be from the trenches. And let that be known to everybody that she met, that she got it out the mud. It made a lot of people love them, but it also made a lot of people refer to them as ratchet, ghetto. There were even references about them being adult film stars and thoughts. Like in my eyes, it was a lot more positive than it was negative, but when it was negative, that was the one that was always pushed the most and got a lot of attention. And yet, when artists like Rico Nasty and Bally Baby came out after them and were doing some of the similar activities with the hair, the makeup choices, the platform boots, they got a completely different response than what Asian Doll and Cuban Doll were receiving. To this day, there are people that credit Bally Baby and Rico Nasty as being the first rap girls to embrace alternative styles for black girls. And to put it in perspective, even newer artists like Doja Cat, they get praised for standing out and being different and being camp, giving a lot of alternative black girls a way to be like, hey, I like these platform boots and I like these sparkles, I like this rave outfit. And yet nobody ever mentions Asian Doll. Nobody ever mentions Cuban Doll. And the reason behind this is definitely due to colorism and misogyny. Now, obviously, Cuban Doll is not dark-skinned. She is biracial. She's mixed with black and white. But because she was affiliated with Asian Doll, she pretty much got the brunt of it too. It's just she didn't get it as much as Asian Doll. Not to mention, at this time, Cuban decided that she wasn't going to be a rapper. She was still focused on being a model. So she wasn't even front and center for the most part. It was mainly Asian Doll. Asian Doll was the artist. So there was a lot of flack that went towards Asian Doll. A lot of it. There were people insinuating that the guns in her music video were fake. There were people that basically were saying like, oh, this is all a facade, you ain't really about that. And again, the comments about her being ratchet, ghetto, all of this, that was due to the fact that she was a dark-skinned black woman. She never was afraid to wear bright lipstick. She never was afraid to wear a bright hair color. And I'm pretty sure by this point, we all used to see the jokes about how dark-skinned women can't wear blonde hair or else they look like a Duracell battery or something like that. Like, we've all seen the colorist accusations and the colorist jokes. So to be a dark-skinned woman that didn't follow the rules at the time, it was a lot to carry. But it also has to do with misogyny because if you remember, at this time, we had artists like XXXTentacion, we had people like Playboy Cardi, Lil Uzi was starting to get his feet in the music industry. I mean, I can name a few male artists that were doing just as much as Asian Doll was. Hip-hop was always known as being gritty and violent and aggressive, and you had these boys coming in like they walked out a Hot Topic. Now, that's not saying that they weren't criticized when they first came on the scene either, but what I'm saying is it was a complete clear difference that Asian Doll was getting ridiculed more than the men were. You literally can see it still to this day that there are people that will defend that Uzi really bout that life. There was no question on whether him and Young Thug was really them dudes, you know? But for some reason with Cuban Doll and Asian Doll, it was always a question. It was always speculation that they was faking and the guns were fake and everything that they were talking about was fake. We talk about it time and time again. It's always an unfair advantage for women that are in the rap industry. But I feel like one of the things that really did hold them back was the fact that there was colorism and misogyny that played a role in it. Thankfully, there were enough people that were willing to give them a chance, but I feel like that still was an obstacle that they were struggling to overcome. And that essentially was the reason why a lot of people never really took them seriously. So the next obstacle at hand that I feel like led to the downfall of Barbie Doll Gang was the allegations of stealing from other people's cultures and cultural appropriation and just stealing in general. So for those that don't know, let me explain in layman's terms what cultural appropriation essentially is. Cultural appropriation is basically when there are aspects of another person's culture that is taken and represented very inappropriately and even sometimes profited upon by someone who is not affiliated with that culture in general. This is a topic that you will see a lot of Black people talk about within the Black community, but this is something that can affect all cultures and all minorities. So when it pertains to Barbie Doll Gang as a whole, but specifically towards Asian Doll, there have always been discrepancies about Asian Doll and Cuban Doll culturally appropriating Asian stereotypes as well as Hispanic and Cuban stereotypes. So off rip, let's just address it. Asian Doll and Cuban Doll. The names themselves, right? Asian Doll is a Black woman. She's Black, she's dark skinned, she's a Black woman. But yet she named herself Asian Doll. Cuban Doll is biracial. She is half Black and half white. And yet she has named herself Cuban Doll. Now, the reasonings behind this, it's because it was just something fun to do. Let's be real. It was just a cute name that they just decided to call each other. But the problem is that Asian Doll has been caught multiple times saying that she is actually part Asian. Now, one thing I can say is that it's a possibility and it could be true. But she hasn't really given any concrete evidence that she is actually Asian. Not to mention that every time she represents the Asian cultures or the Asian community, it never is just one specific country, it's all of them at the same time. So there are often times where you will see her using Japanese letters in her usernames, but then turning around and using Chinese letters, or even in some of her cover arts. So the most obvious one to point out is the fact that she has a picture of Chinese architecture as the background of the cover art. But as I was editing this video, I came to realize that on this cover art alone, there are two different styles of lettering on this cover. So she has Chinese letters and Japanese letters at the same time. On her cover for doll season, it's very clear that there are Chinese letters in the O where doll is supposed to be. And not only that, you can see that she's actually making poses that are very similar to karate, which is also Chinese. And in the album, it doesn't necessarily have to match up with each other, but in the album she has a song that references Japan, and Japan is obviously Japanese. Here's an example of her referring to herself as a ninja while holding katanas and displaying an emoji with Japanese lettering. Now let's be real, the average person isn't taking the time to look up the meaning behind these emojis. They'll use this emoji and say they're about to eat Chinese food. They don't really care. But for someone to stand 10 toes down on being Asian and thus being educated on the Asian culture, it's very odd to use words randomly. Because if you look at this picture, essentially what this picture is her calling herself a ninja with all this glitter and pink stuff, and then using the emoji that means sale. So like in a way, you're saying that you're for sale. And it's the same thing with the depictions of the katanas. Katanas are typically used for samurai, and ninjas typically use ninjados. So, thankfully, they're from the same country and culture, but ninjas and samurai are two different things as well as their swords. Now, I can see the confusion because they do look very similar, but also, I'm pretty sure everyone has seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Leonardo wields sometimes two katanas, and depending on what generation you watch, they're not accurately depicted. So anyone could have made that mistake, honestly. Plus, it's a cartoon. They did the best they could. In some of the pictures that she posts, it gives very much kawaii. It gives Harajuku. And in the few times that Asian Doll has defended herself by saying that she is part Asian, the Asian part that she is referring to is Indian. And she's been claiming this for the longest, as you can see by this screenshot of her old Instagram bio. So this isn't just something that's coming out the blue. She's been doing this. So where's this coming from? You know, like you get it now? And there did come a point in time where Asian Doll decided to have a Bollywood themed birthday party. So we finally got that Indian representation that she was talking about, but it still was kind of tasteless, and it still was kind of like, oh, you know. And can we talk about how a few months after this party she tweeted that she's at an Indian restaurant and everything looks nasty? Girl, I thought these was your people. What are you doing? And as of recently, there were text messages that Asian Doll showed herself to vouch for her Indian side, and her mom lets it be known that she is part Navajo Indian, as in Native American, not in India. So at the time that I'm editing this video, Asian Doll had posted this to combat the allegations that she was lying about being Indian, because apparently she thinks that Native American Indians are still Indians. Basically, from what I'm understanding, is that she thinks it's a situation where like Nigerian people are in fact black people, but are all black people Nigerian. I think that's what she thinks is going on. And I'm just now recognizing that right below it, it says Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, and Colorado, which is in America. And she still thinks that they're Indian. I can't do this. Okay, so I'm not finished. I actually found some more tweets. And this tweet, she says that her mom is the one that's 100% Indian and her dad is half black and half Asian. But I distinctly remember a point in time where she said that her father was the one that was half Indian. So now her mom is the one that's Indian. And now I'm just confused. And here is a set of tweets where she continuously makes references to herself being Indian. So, honey, it's just a lot to unpack. And that top tweet is getting me, because I really hope she means West Indian, as in like actual India, at least this one time. Because if she thinks that the West Indies is the same as Indians, girl, I'm trying to help. But you making it hard. So yeah, basically that's a huge problem, because people feel like, okay, you're just doing anything at this point, and you're kind of like making it into a caricature. You're kind of like trying to be funny, and people are not being very receptive of that. Now with that, I can see how that is a huge problem, because it's okay if you genuinely like the Asian cultures and communities. I mean, there's a lot of people that do. That's why things like anime are so popular. That's why we have like 1,000,001 boba tea restaurants, even though apparently, girl, we late to the trend. Like, they don't even do that no more. Or how I love my Hello Kitty. You know, like stuff like that. It's not abnormal and it's not far-fetched, but it's just like, it's not being done well, and it's not being done in a respectable way. So there are people that have an issue with it, because it's like, you can't just be insensitive like that and then turn around and address situations like colorism, because then that's kind of like, you know, you're being hypocritical. And then even with Cuban, again, the only issue with Cuban really is her name and the fact that she participated in some of the things that Asian Doll wanted to do. But there have been times where Cuban has stated that she is actually Cuban and that she's actually Hispanic.
Another interview. You're not Cuban.
I am Cuban.
I'm speaking of your nationality. You're Cuban.
And then she'll turn around and clarify that, no, I'm not actually Cuban. I'm not actually Hispanic. I'm actually biracial.
Now, what is your ethnicity?
I'm black and white.
Black.
But I be lying to people. I be telling them I'm Cuban, because it just go with my name. They believe me. They be like, okay.
They think you're Spanish?
Yeah. Y'all that.
So yeah, there were a lot of people that were just looking at that like, okay, this is really inappropriate, this is really stupid. But then not only that, with names like Cuban Doll and Asian Doll, a lot of people in the black community felt like they were denouncing their blackness. Now, there have been multiple times where both of these women have come out and said that they are very proud to be black. But still, it gives off that feeling like, why are you calling yourself Cuban and you know nothing about Cuba? You know nothing about being Hispanic. You're not Hispanic, so why would you do that? Same thing with Asian Doll. Why are we doing this? Are you Japanese? Are you Korean? Are you Chinese? Are you Indian? Then it turns out that you're actually Native American. It's just a lot. So that can make a lot of people feel some type of way and just want to pull away from them just off the strength of that, because it is, you know, kind of a messy situation. It's similar to how when Lotto first came out, she referred to herself as Miss Mulatto and Mulatto. There were a lot of people that felt like she was denouncing her blackness because she used a slur. Essentially, it's a slur as her stage name. And it's like, why would you expect for other people to respect you and you're using a name that essentially is disrespectful to not only your race but also to the black community? Because mulatto is actually a racial slur for someone who is half black and half white, which that is what she was. But that's what caused a lot of people to have an uproar about her name, because you are using a racial slur and essentially making somewhat of a minstrel show out of yourself because of it. Do they even have minstrel shows for biracial people? I don't know. But yeah, like essentially, to get an idea, that was really a lot of people's issues with it. Because in retrospect, you could have named yourself African American Doll. You could have named yourself African Doll. You could have named yourself Ghana Doll, all of that. And you chose not to. So it's kind of like, you know, like I kind of see it. I kind of see the reason why. So now let's go into the stealing. So one thing that Asian Doll and Cuban Doll were really known for at this time was when they would do their makeup and they would put rhinestones and diamonds on their faces. This was something that was definitely a staple for those that were aware and affiliated with Barbie Doll Gang. It got to the point to where even her fans began to replicate a lot of her looks and started putting diamonds on their faces for the sake of it. However, it has been alleged that Asian Doll actually stole that from a rapper from Atlanta named Pink Bitch. Now, for the sake of not getting, you know, in trouble with YouTube, we're just going to keep referring to her as Pink B. Nowadays, she goes by Chaz Alexa, but I feel like it would be easier to search for her by her stage name. So, like, we're just going to call her Pink B, and y'all can go from there. So, again, Pink B was a rapper from Atlanta, and she had that typical early 2010s sound of music. Her and Asian Doll definitely had different sounds from each other, but one day in 2014, they just seemingly started beefing and shading each other out of nowhere. So one thing that Pink B is very adamant about, even still to this day, is that Cuban Doll and Asian Doll stole their whole entire look from her. From the diamonds on the face to the quirky fashion sense, they all got it from Pink B. She was somebody where, regardless of her being a rapper or not, she dressed pretty much alternatively and stood out as well. She wasn't afraid to wear all types of crazy colors and have her hair match her outfit. She wasn't afraid to really think outside the box with a lot of her fashion choices. And from the looks of the timeline, she has been doing it for a while. And she feels like during the short period of time that she actually was supportive of Asian Doll and Cuban Doll's come up, they essentially studied her Instagram, her socials, and took everything from her. She also called them out because there were a few times where they referred to themselves as trap girls, and Asian Doll considered herself a trap artist. And for those that don't know, trap music is actually a style of rap music that popularized in Atlanta. And when you listen to the distinct differences between drill music, which is essentially what Asian Doll was doing, and trap music, they're not the same thing. And again, it was popularized in Atlanta. They lived in Dallas, and at this time, they didn't move to Atlanta yet. So Pink B just felt like, okay, this whole thing is fugazi. This whole thing is fake. Why are we doing this? So right now, I'm going to read off a few tweets between them, just so you guys can get an idea of what was being said. So here Asian Doll says, F a trap anything, B I'm really ganged up, really going to ATL now, B dead to me, more Barbie, less trap, knew this ish was gonna happen, MFs keep comparing us like we the same and we not, finna drop this hashtag more Barbie, less trap, video coming soon, the rise of Barbie Doll Gang empire, we ish like Pink, stop comparing us. Pink B responds with, take trap girl out your bio, B, you not one. F Barbies, trap girls running ish. And then Asian Doll responds, F you and trap. Pink B then responds with saying, I'm the reason you bees is walking around with dots in the middle of your forehead. F out of here. Bees be out here looking like Ken dolls talking about some dang Barbie Doll Gang. Asian Doll comes back saying, more Barbie, less trap dropping Wednesday. Gang. Once you diss a B, I will end you. I'm at your neck, B. Atlanta don't even rock with you. Hashtag the rise of Barbie Doll Gang empire. Ain't no B put me on ish. Barbie running ish. I'ma end the B. F wrong with these B's. No B can put me on ish. We did our own ish. B, we been rocking diamonds. Sneak dissing. B, you drunk or something? I'm finna end this whack, B. F is a trap. B, that ish lame AF. B, you a lame. Doll Gang. F trapping any B behind them. I'm coming at every B neck. So this whole altercation led to Pink B making a diss track called More Trap Less Barbie, and of course Asian Doll clapped back with a diss called More Barbie Less Trap. This feud lasted for about a year, and allegedly there came a point in time where Pink B and the dolls actually had a confrontation with her and she didn't keep that same energy. This is a response from Asian Doll to a now deleted tweet from Pink B saying, "Don't do no Twitter talk in real life, friendly A clown." A few months later, Asian Doll still responds saying, "B, more anything, less anything is my ish. F you steady using my ish trying to diss me. Whack. B steady trying to diss me with my ish. Really gonna end this no rapping girl whole MF life. B, you gonna stay in Atlanta making that whack A music." Then the girl act like she ain't hear my song. "Yeah, your manager played it for you, B. You know." Pink B a dead B. I'ma smoke that B in my blunt. Tell your manager drop that conversation he recorded. You wasn't saying ish, but explain on the phone. She changed her name cause I off that B and More Barbie Less Trap. B ain't put out a song since. The summer of that year, Pink B released t-shirts in honor of More Trap Less Barbie, and it depicts obviously a very beaten up Barbie. I remember when I first seen these t-shirts, I thought they were just cute. I had no idea that that was a diss to Cuban Doll and Asian Doll. To this day, the two artists are not cool with each other. They still do not like each other, and honestly, I don't think they ever will. And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, the allegations of stealing do not stop there, but this particular stealing is a type of stealing that people refer to as false claiming. So for those that don't know, false claiming is essentially when someone lies about being gang affiliated or even lying about being from a particular neighborhood because they want to make themselves seem tougher than what they are. Obviously, false claiming is very disrespectful to the gangs themselves, but also it's just a straight no-no to do in the streets. Like, you will not get respect after that. So remember when I said that Asian Doll and Cuban Doll were co-signed by Chief Keef and his crew called Glow Gang, right? Being co-signed by Chief Keef at the prime of his career was a very big accomplishment, and it put the girls on the map in places like Chicago. So they had a lot of Chicago fan bases, and they got to work with a lot of Chicago artists. Just for example, they were best friends with G Gotti, and there's even been a few of Asian Doll's songs that she was featured on. And even though there were a lot of people in Chicago that really liked Barbie Doll Gang at first, it got to a point to where they stopped liking Barbie Doll Gang. Reason being is because a lot of people from Chicago felt like Asian Doll and Cuban Doll were trying too hard to be from Chicago. It seemed almost as if they were glorifying the gang culture and just the whole culture of Chicago as a whole. So for starters, they called themselves Barbie Doll Gang. They called themselves the Dolls. But when their friendship with Glow Gang was public, they started to refer to themselves as Glow Dolls. Now, it's been said by both of them that Chief Keef and Tato actually nicknamed them that, so they felt 100% okay with calling themselves the Glow Dolls. But apparently there were a lot of people from Chicago that just wasn't feeling it at all.
Glow Gang, Glow Dolls, Doll Gang. Hell y'all want to put Glow Dolls, all that shit. Make sure you put a doll on that shit. Glow Gang, girls, all that shit. I know you rock. Yeah, we just a little humble and shit. Y'all hate skinny, y'all ain't know. I fuck with Glow Gang, I fuck with their whole movement. Everybody know we rocking, bitches be hanging because we fuck with Glow Gang and we the Glow Dolls. They actually gave us the name Glow Dolls. Tato gave us the name Glow Dolls, but Glow Gang know how we rocking.
Not to mention that a member of Glow Gang named Capo ended up passing away during this affiliation as well, and they started calling themselves Cap Girls. Now again, this is in honor of their friend that passed away, but there were a lot of people from Chicago that just felt like, okay, you're doing too much now, like you really think you're from here and you're not from here. It also didn't help that a lot of people that didn't really know that much about the girls really did think that they were from Chicago, not only because of their mannerisms, but at this time it was clear that Asian Doll's music sound started to sound a little bit different. It was very similar, but you could tell that it was a difference between back when she was at home at Dallas and when she really got close to Glow Gang. So this caused a really big uproar because the people from Chicago were pissed. They didn't like that. They didn't like that at all. But not only that, the people from their hometown in Dallas, they weren't feeling it either. They felt like, why are you denying who you are? You're not from Chicago, Illinois. You're from Dallas, Texas. And further into the future, there did come a point in time where Asian Doll named herself the queen of drill music. And similar to the situation with her and Pink B and her usage of the term trap, drill music is a type of rap style that was popularized in Chicago. Now, we do have things like New York drill, and I've even seen like UK drill rappers. So, you know, it's a genre within itself. But again, you're from Dallas and you're calling yourself the queen of drill, and you're not from Chicago. You can't be the queen of drill if you're not from Chicago. So that led to a lot of commotion as well, to where Katie Got Bands, an artist from Chicago that was there during the prime of drill music's popularity, she ended up coming out and making a diss song about her and pretty much addressing in an interview why she just wasn't feeling Asian Doll.
Where did the back and forth between y'all come from? Was this something that was brewing over time? Was it something that was said, something that was done? You just dropped a diss record or previewed a diss record. That didn't come from nowhere.
That wasn't a diss record. I don't do diss records.
What you call it?
I delivered a statement on the record.
Again, where did all that come from, if you don't mind me asking?
Disrespect. The disrespect.
Okay, so judging by what you just said, I'm assuming the fact that she called herself the queen of drill, you took that as a disrespect.
She threw shots at me. That was the disrespect when it was direct to me. She disrespected my city, our culture, my throne. That's why she got a response from me, but I'm not going back and forth with all that. If you say you the queen, own up to it, like, but you will never be me. If I stop rapping today, you will never be me, like.
But despite all that, Asian Doll claims that she claims trap and drill music to this day, and she's not backing down. Okay, so I found these old tweets where she actually clarifies that she doesn't want to be a drill rapper. So I think where a lot of this is coming from now is mainly because of King Von. King Von is her ex that passed away, and I think that maybe she's doing it in honor of him. And basically, Asian Doll can sometimes be petty. So I think like the reason why she's going hard now is more so trolling than it is her actually thinking that she's a drill rapper. But I don't know, because she is a little bit adamant about it and she is kind of going hard behind it. So yeah, I'm not really sure, but I thought I should just add that in because I found that really interesting. But let's also address the gang affiliation too, because that was another thing that a lot of people weren't feeling either. So Asian Doll has claimed before that she is a Crip like her mom, and Cuban Doll has stated multiple times that she is actually a Blood. There was even a point in time where before Cuban Doll called herself Cuban Doll, she was actually known as Taylor Blood. So both of them, despite having pretty much oppositions to each other's gang culture, they were still really good friends. But it seemed like once they started messing with Glow Gang, they started repping different sets. So there's literally like pictures and video compilations of them throwing up different little gang signs. So I had to make this compilation myself because shockingly, all the compilations that I remember have just magically been deleted off of Instagram, and I think there were a few on YouTube. I can't find them anywhere, so I don't know if I should take that as a warning sign or what, but I had to throw this compilation together, and this isn't even all of the videos that I've like gathered to catch them doing this stuff. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, and as you can see, I've added like little tweets and stuff. But yeah, this is way more in depth than what I thought. So I'm kind of seeing the issue now. At first I thought it was dramatics, but I'm starting to see where a lot of people were getting frustrated because I thought it happened like probably 3 times. It's happening a lot. So, and there's even been a few times where Asian Doll and Cuban Doll have had to clarify like, oh, this isn't for this is for that. Oh, this is for this isn't for what you're thinking of. And there was even a point in time recently where people assumed that Asian Doll was copying off of a gang in New York. I don't fully remember exactly what the gang was called, but she was even seen throwing up sets for that gang as well. And again, she's from Dallas, Texas. Like, what's going on, girl? What's going on? And eventually, when these two fell out, they started airing each other business and letting it be known that the other person actually wasn't a gang member. So will we ever know the truth? Probably not. Who knows? So the reason why these things are an issue is pretty much within their own different reasons. But in the grand scheme of it all, the issue is the fact that now it seems like everything that Barbie Doll Gang has ever represented and stood for is fake. So once people started getting hip to that, a lot of people started to kind of fall back from both of them. But again, for different reasons. For the cultural appropriation, we are in an era now where people are a little bit more, politically aware of certain things. And to play with someone else's culture like that while simultaneously fighting for the rights for black people, it kind of, I don't believe in that. I hate when people say that, but in a way it makes the black community look bad, and it makes black women in general look weird. So there's a lot of people where it's like they like her as an artist, but just off that they don't really like Asian Doll. The stealing from various artists, like copying their swag, that became an issue within itself, because as we all know, Asian Doll is very loud, proud, and adamant about people stealing her swag and copying off of her. So it's like, again, girl, how you gonna talk about everybody else but then you turning around and doing this? Like, ain't nobody about to support you when you acting like that. And then with the false claiming, that's more of like a street politics type of thing. Like, from my knowledge, it's very dangerous to play like that. It's very dangerous to even insinuate that you're throwing something up that you are not affiliated with. And again, there were just a lot of people from Chicago that just thought it was really weird that this girl was essentially trying to be from Chicago, because it just gave them a really weird feeling. Like, why are you trying to be from Chicago? There's nothing fun about not being from 63rd, So yeah, it's like a loyalty thing. Like, after a while, people just start to realize that some of this stuff is just really, really fake and odd, and that made a lot of people just like pretty much fall back from the duo. So with this next reason, I think I'm gonna have like an audience split down the middle, and I'm okay with that. I have no problems with that, but I already know there's gonna be some people debating in the comments, which is perfectly fine. I feel like another reason why Barbie Doll Gang gets downplayed, and a lot of people kind of downplay Asian Doll as an artist, is because Asian Doll, despite stating multiple times that she is humble, she can actually be very, very egotistical and hard-headed. Her ego definitely gets in the way of a lot of her successes. Now, I will say I think it benefited her in the very early stages of her career, because let's be real, again, being a female in the hip-hop industry is not easy. So the fact that this was a really young teenage girl that knew exactly what she wanted and wasn't taking ish from nobody, that's a good thing. But as time goes on, you do have to kind of change with the times. You can't just stay in the same spot and be the same way and expect different results. But yeah, Asian Doll can sometimes be a very headstrong person, and I feel like that essentially was the biggest reason as to why a lot of people don't give her credit when it's due. So we've already talked about how Asian Doll is very adamant about how the whole entire world has copied her. Majority of the rap beefs that she has gotten into with other artists isn't even because of the music. It is literally because she claims that every single person has been inspired by her and is copying her. She is definitely one of those girls where she apparently was the first person in the world to wear red hair, and everybody else started following suit. Her most popular allegations of people copying her include Bally Baby, Rico Nasty, and Brittany Taylor. They seem to fall out every day of every week about her apparently assuming that they did something that she did first. There have even been times where Asian Doll has fell out with people because she's seen them dating her ex. Now, I'm not gonna lie, there are some weird girls out there that do act like that. They will purposely date your man simply because they low-key want to be you. And I know that sounds crazy, but people do that. So it's not far-fetched, but like, again, it kind of comes from an egotistical place, because it's like, you ain't date this man in 5 years. What are you doing? Like, girl. But no joke, Asian Doll claiming that people were copying her pretty much became like her identity, and somewhat became a meme. Like, there were certain rap girlies that were practically in fear of their lives, because they were just like, this girl about to come out the cut and say that I copied her because I put a barrette in my hair. It even got to a point to where Azalea Banks stepped into the chat and had to clear things up, because Azalea Banks came out in like the early to late 2010s, and she did popularize a lot of alternative styles, because she essentially was one of those artists that we used to refer to as like Tumblr artists. And if you were on Tumblr back in the day, you kind of get the gist of what we're talking about. So like the Lana Del Reys and the Weeknd, like people like that, they were very popular on Tumblr, and it's like this distinct style that comes with it too, like not just fashion choices but also like the way that it sounds. So Azalea Banks had to let the world know that if anybody was the first person to do anything, it was her. She takes to Instagram and says, I'm keying at all these new rap girlies thinking they are the original, starting fistfights over my old swag. Oh lord, an entire game. As the first female rapper to bring rave Tumblr aesthetic into hip-hop, I hereby declare everyone should be able to wear the ish. That's totally originally some Spice Girl swag. Don't let any of these girls bully you into believing you owe them credit for ish. LOL. Everyone and they mama has a demonia boot. Everyone can do whatever the F they want. Then post a picture of herself wearing platform boots saying, been there, done that, baby girl, and follows it up with a picture of Nicki Minaj herself and another lady saying, it's been done, sweetie. The platform boot look screams entry level. Gotta do better. And I'm not just talking about things like hair, makeup, and just fashion in general. I'm also talking about the music. This is where I feel like she messed up entirely. Because I've said it in one of my previous videos when I showed y'all my playlist, that one thing that I cannot stand about Asian Doll is that she will delete some of her best songs simply because she fell out with somebody that was featured on the song or who the song was about. So one of the first times that she displayed this behavior was when she worked with Molly Brazy. Her and Molly Brazy had a whole mixtape planned, a whole EP that was ready to be released, and a lead single that had yet to be fully released. Raise your hand if you've heard that song. Fully. Not the snippet. Fully. Now raise your hand if you've heard the mixtape. You want to know why you haven't heard it? You want to know why? Because when her and Cuban Doll fell out, I don't know the whole ins and outs of it because, again, we don't know any of these people personally. I guess Molly decided to be closer to Cuban than she was with Asian Doll. So Asian Doll took that as, okay, well, bitch, you chose your side.
And, you know, you did do a record with Molly Brazy. And I don't know if y'all shot a video or not, but nothing really came out after that. What's the status with the Molly? What's your relationship with Molly Brazy? And what happened to that? Because we see the Cuban Doll and Molly Brazy records. We see that, but what happened to y'all record?
I'm the Asian Doll.
But I mean, we know the differences with you and Cuban Doll have and shit like that, but it seemed like you and Molly Brazy, it was never really nothing that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't feel like it's really, it never was nothing, so I don't feel like there's nothing to even just, it's nothing to be mad. It's like, I don't know, it's nothing.
Yeah. So it's just nothing to talk about?
Yeah, it's nothing to talk about, it's just like nothing. Like.
But so the record is never gonna come out?
Where is them bitches? I don't even know them bitches at.
And after that, we never got that. We never got that mixtape. We never got that song. We don't have the video. We have nothing. We have nothing. Okay? And there was hype behind it too, because at this point, Molly Brazy just stepped on the scene and she was a very new and popping artist. All three of them really could have made waves, okay? All three of them working together really could have made a huge impact, but that situation happened and we just never got what we actually deserved. She also made a remix to I Love My Choppa by TK, and that, oh my god, I loved that song when it first came out. I thought that was one of her best. And baby, you can barely find that on YouTube either. She done deleted the music video and the music. It's nowhere. It is nowhere. And why did she do that? Because in the song, she shouts out her ex-band Hunter Izzy. Because at this time, they were heavily dating and they were like, at the time, couples goals. At first, when she released the music video, she just blocked out his name with a gunshot.
Yo, nigga, a stain, is a keeper.
But I guess one day she just got pissed off and just deleted the song in general. So now there's like third-party people that have re-uploaded the song. But yeah, she done deleted the song, child. She didn't delete the song. And it was a good song too. I'm still mad about it. And let's talk about the biggest devastation, which I already know y'all saying it on the other side of the screen. There came a point in time where her and Rico Nasty actually got along and made a song and a music video together. And it was the hottest song of that summer. And within weeks, she deleted that too. She deleted that too, y'all. She deleted that too. Now, why did she delete that? Because her and Rico fell out. Yep, they fell out again. And it was because Asian Doll assumed that she was stealing her swag and copying her. And it even got to a point to where they fought, y'all. In case y'all didn't know, it got to that point to where they start banging.
Just beat this bitch Rico up.
I know what's her nigga at.
Fuck you talking about, bitch? Beat the fuck out of this bitch Rico. Bro, this hoe cannot fight. Beat the shit out of.
You got the video?
No, you weren't recording it. This bitch thought it was a joke. Yeah, bitch, put your. I beat the fuck out of that. This bitch thought she was hard. Caught this bitch lacking.
And to this day, it's deleted. Again, you could probably find it on YouTube if someone else uploaded it. But all in all, yeah, everything is deleted. Anytime that she don't mess with somebody no more, or she don't want to give breath to somebody, she deletes everything. Everything. And while we on the topic, should we talk about the doll name? That infamous battle of who was the first doll, because yeah, that was a mess and that irritated me. So let me first off state that Asian Doll is popularly known as Asian Doll, hence the reason why I keep referring to her as Asian Doll, but she technically changed her name to Asian the Brat. And the reason being is because she also feels as though artists like Dream Doll, Cash Doll, and possibly Ivory and Doll have all copied after her and put the word doll in their name. Okay, I'm gonna make this quick because when I say that this was stupid, I mean wholeheartedly, this was the dumbest thing on the planet. So basically, around this time, Cash Doll, Dream Doll, Cuban Doll, Asian Doll obviously were popping at the time. And on the other side of the globe, there was Ivory and Doll, and she was in the UK. So she kind of didn't have anything to do with the situation for the most part, but you know, either way it goes, basically it was just a bunch of girls that had dolls in their username. So at first everything was fine, everybody was copacetic, but then one day a tweet came out from somebody and it was basically saying, okay, where did all of these dolls come from? Why is everybody a doll? And after that, it started an argument on who was the first person to come out with the doll name. And I have to say that, like, for the most part, nobody was really tripping over it. No shade to Cash Doll because I really do like Cash Doll, but essentially she's the one that kind of started the beef because she basically took ownership of saying that she was the first doll and everybody copied off of her.
I do know Cuban Doll, but did you trademark that name? Are you trademarking? Are you able? Not even talk about nobody else's beef, but are you able to actually trademark it? So
my name is good.
You just don't like people with the doll. So if Jazzy came out with Jazzy Doll, you gonna have a problem?
Because I just feel like my name ain't Cash Minaj. My name ain't Cash Minaj. Everybody gonna be a Minaj when they come out. This ain't no motherfucking doll collection. Such and such doll. Like, oh, you got different dolls in the industry. No.
I can't with you. All right, so let's go ahead and move on because we don't promote beef. We just like to clear all.
I'm not beefing.
You beefing?
I don't like that name.
I get it.
I don't dislike them.
But it's their name, so what you gonna do about it? You can't do nothing.
Change your name.
You're not changing their name.
The only way you gonna be able to compete with me, bitch, if you go in the studio and rap. Go rap. Be a rapper. Go fucking rap. Stop talking. I'm so tired of hearing, if you a dog, I don't like it. Like, what you gonna do about it, bitch? Keep not liking it? What you gonna do? Like, what the fuck is you gonna do about it? If I don't like something, I'ma handle some shit. I'ma do something about it. Like, just like with all my beefs, I handle my shit. Like, you steady fucking talking. Bitch, we dogs and what? Just cause you the oldest don't mean shit. Be direct, Asian. Man, bitches know what I'm talking about. They know I'm talking about fucking Cash Doll. I wish she be direct. The fuck? Cause I'm tired of being direct. Every time this shit come to me, I be direct.
I when a bitch get ignorant. And we all know if I had a problem, I would be on the shade room right now. Because I address my problems. I don't have a problem with no female rappers. I don't have a problem with nobody. I just don't like the doll's name, but I don't have a problem.
Meanwhile, Ben trademark.
How do you feel about all the upcoming rappers using the name Doll now?
That's just lit.
I want to say when they been okay. First of all, when dog the name it was only me and this other girl. She's older. This other dog, she's really older, but it was only us rapping. Cuban has always been a dog, but she wasn't rapping. So like, and it's the other one, which is Dream. So it's like really only her. She's the only odd one. Cuban, like she the savage, so she can do what the fuck she want to do. She can like period. She's been around it. She was with me, like so she's good. We made it cool to basically do that. So I think it's becoming a trend. But I'm not intimidated by nobody. I feel like I'm the hardest. I feel like so I'm not intimidated by nobody being called a dog. It's no more dogs can ever do it again. Like nobody else after this set. It's no more. No bitch can't pop out the blue like, oh, I'm a dog, I'm a rat. No, you gotta fight me. Period. At this point, because you playing with me. If anything, the other girl, the older one, the really, really old one, she was a whole different category. Me and Cuban, I was rapping. So me and Cuban was the savages. We the one, like we was doing it. We was doing all the gangster dog shit. Nobody was doing gangster dog shit. Nobody was talking shit. People was actually even scared to even like mention us. Like it's like stop playing with us. Like period. So it's just like now, it's just like a wave, which is cool. Like shout out to everybody who doing their shit. But I just feel like I'm the hardest dog. Period.
So you and Cuban Doll come from the same city. You guys made music together before, right?
We got like 2 songs together. We came from the same city. We grew up together.
You guys grew up together.
I gave her name.
Oh,
you named Cuban Doll.
Yes, I was Asian Doll. I was Asian Doll in 2013. Cuban her name was Taylor Blood, and we was friends. We was best friends.
So you guys were like besties.
We was like besties.
So I'm assuming not anymore.
No, but it's cool. It's life.
Is you guys still friends?
No,
like, you guys
life.
talk?
No, we don't talk.
Cause I don't feel like that. I feel like no bitch made me. Nobody gave me my name, Cuban Doll. Cause that's a rumor too. People always say she gave you your name. No, that's a fucking lie. We came up with our own names a couple years back on Twitter. It was just some Twitter shit. Then everybody just started seeing us in person and calling us that. So I was just like, oh yeah, Cuban. That's how that shit came about.
Now, I understand to a degree why she would have wanted to change her name just so she could stand out, but I feel like to go through a major name change at the height of your career is not a good idea. It's just not. And then again, like, people still refer to her as Asian Doll, so it's like I don't want to say it was useless, but it's like but yeah, I just don't even want to go into all of that, honestly, truly, because that whole situation was so stupid, and it was the biggest mess I've ever seen in my life. That it was a whole bunch of people arguing over the doll name, because how many Lils is it? How many? Can somebody count it for me? And we're not arguing about that, but we're arguing over doll. I felt like that was really dumb. In present day, all the dolls are finally getting along. You can see that Ivory Doll, Dream Doll, and Asian Doll are actually on a song together. You can often see Asian Doll and Cash Doll actually giving props to each other. So that's good that they squashed the beef that should have never happened in the first place. But I still feel like in retrospect, it was a really dumb situation. I feel like this is one of those situations where you had to be there to witness this go down. Because when I tell you, for a long time, nobody cared about how many dolls it was. The dolls were not checking for each other. Everybody was in their own individual lanes. But the moment that one tweet had went viral, I swear everything just got turned on its head, and that's when the whole entire beef started. But like they were coexisting very well. So the fact that they let that happen was just really stupid to me. But yeah, that is just something that Asian Doll is known for doing. She lets her ego get into the way of a lot of stuff. She's very headstrong, very hard-headed. She gonna do whatever she want to do. And the problem with this is that in that process, she is essentially wiping herself out of history. Whether she's aware of that or not, that is exactly what she's doing. Because like I said, some of her best songs deleted. You got a whole mixtape that nobody will ever hear, ever in life, because you got an attitude. Like, you are literally scrubbing yourself away from history as we speak, and that's bad. And I just want y'all to really, like, think of your favorite artist right now, and think of whatever beef or altercation they got into with a fellow artist that they worked with before. Now I want you to think about that artist. Think about them two artists. Think about a song that they were on together, and imagine if that got deleted for the rest of your life. Yeah, so I'm not tripping. Like, it's a bad idea to do it either way. But not only that, like I said before, she likes to say a lot that she is a very humble person, but her behavior is not a reflection of that. It comes off really, really shitty when you accuse everyone of copying you. Because it wasn't just rap girls. She was calling out everyday girls for copying her too. It's just not a good look at all. But I will say this, honest to God. Believe it or not, to a degree, Asian Doll is right. To a degree. I don't agree with everything. But to a degree, Asian Doll is correct. So first off, with the fashion choices. Again, her and Cuban Doll stepped out during a time where nobody was doing anything out of the box. Nobody was really out here doing much. So I'm not gonna say that everybody was copying off of Asian Doll, but it is very clear that Asian Doll pretty much softened the blow for artists that came in after her to replicate similar styles. Because again, this was not the era for that. Nobody was really going to take you seriously if you were dressed like you were going to a rave concert, but then you was talking about trap music. People were still getting adjusted to Playboy Cardi and XXXTentacion, so it's just a given that to some degree, people did kind of look at what Asian Doll was doing and got inspired, whether they admit it out loud or not. The influence definitely is there. Now, to say that they copied her, I wouldn't say that, but there definitely was an influence and a little bit more of a door being kicked down so that the others could come in. I'm just saying. But not only that, I don't feel like she should have went out of her way and said that she was the first person to do this and the first person to do that. But there have been a lot of times where Asian Doll has went viral. And even her and Cuban Doll have went viral because people were making fun of the way that they dressed. They were making fun of their shoes, they were making fun of their outfit choices, and like I had said earlier, there were a lot of people that were giving them references about being ratchet, ghetto, and yet you would look up one day and you would see somebody doing something very, very similar to what Asian Doll was doing.
Rappers right now, 2018 as it stands, what do you make of that category?
I feel like they lit right now. Well, it's a couple. Like, I feel like a couple lit. I don't like the weird shit. When bitches try to be weird and shit, I don't like that weird shit. But I feel like the bitches turn right now, though. I feel like we taking over. Definitely.
When you say weird, define that a little bit more. What do you mean by weird?
Like fucking weird ass hair, spikes, and big ass shoes, thick ass shoes. Just, I don't like the rock star shit. I don't like that shit.
I see.
No, not for black girls, no.
And even in today's standards, do you know how many times I literally sit back and I look at this and I'm like, I remember when Asian Doll did that and y'all said it was ugly. I remember that very clear. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I did think it was a little weird that she was out here wearing like underwear in public, because it's like, girl, why are you doing that? But then we turned around and were applauding the girls that were wearing lingerie bodysuits with some cargo shorts. With the makeup, it was a lot of people that thought like, oh my god, all these loud crazy colors and the lashes being all different colors and the makeup looking like it's slime dripping out of her eye, that's just so much. And then you turn around and there's somebody doing it. With Azalea Banks, I'm not gonna lie, I do feel like she was one of the first people that was a little bit more fun with the hip-hop culture, because hip-hop culture really isn't about standing out and being different. Like, it's kind of like a lot of like fitting in the box type of things. That's why when Nicki Minaj came out, she was really, really big and people loved her, because it was like, okay, this is different and it's fun. And she was like at one point in time a pop girly too. But even after her, it's still like certain standards that people want the rappers to fit into. So like, once Nicki Minaj had proved that she deserved a spot in the industry, now we expect every single female rapper after her to be a replica of Nicki Minaj. And when they're not, it's an issue. So I will say, I will give credit to Azalea Banks for that, but even looking at some of the things that Azalea Banks has done, she's done it for stage performances and music videos. But on the regular, she dressed like anybody else in the 2010s. There was nothing that really was standing out and different. Meanwhile, Asian Doll legit dressed like that every day. She literally would go to the mall, to the club, to the trenches of every other city, and dress exactly like that unapologetically. So we can't really sit here and compare the two and say like, oh, well, Azalea Banks was the first one to do it. Because first and foremost, I don't believe there's a first for anything, because everybody is inspired by somebody. But it is very clear and very fair to say that Asian Doll was definitely in a lane of her own. This wasn't for clout. This wasn't for a performance. This was really how she dressed, and that was really how she was. So I feel like to even compare the two is kind of like unfair, you know? I said in the last What Happened To video that I was going to stop doing this, but my intuition has went off a little bit for some reason. So something is telling me that somebody's going to try me, and I'm not the one to be tried. So let me clarify some things, okay? I am not saying that people are copying Asian Doll directly. I'm not saying that. I'm not even saying that if you were to copy Asian Doll, you're a bad person. No, I'm not saying that at all. And I'm not saying that it's bad to have a change of opinion as time goes on. What I'm identifying is her influence on pop culture and specifically fashion. What I'm identifying is that Barbie Doll Gang definitely did make a stamp. People ridiculed it and then turned around and started emulating similar styles years later. That's what I'm saying. Whether they copied directly from her or not, they were influenced in some way, shape, or form because of Asian Doll. Simple. It's just that simple. If you want a concept of what I mean, if you ever seen The Devil Wears Prada and you've seen the blue sweater scene, that is essentially what I'm talking about. But for those that have never seen that movie and don't plan on seeing that movie, I'm gonna make it more relatable. So just think of like a random pair of shoes. Like, I don't know what it is. It could be some fake Converse or some fake Rick Owens or some heels or whatever. Just think of a pair of shoes, right? And let's say that you walk past this store and you seen them, you wanted them, you bought them. Okay, congratulations. Now let's talk about the journey that those shoes had to take in order for them to get in your eyesight and in order for you to buy them and take them home. Let's say there was a very famous artist that came out and decided, hey, I really like wearing shoes specifically like these. At first, nobody understood it. Nobody was feeling the vision. They just wasn't feeling it. This person has probably even got laughed at, ridiculed, bullied, whatever. Because at the end of the day, who is really trying to wear these clothes? Who really is coming out the house looking like this? But even though there's a lot of naysayers, there's a lot of supporters. Those supporters could be tens of thousands of people. And out of those tens of thousands of people, there is one person that really likes the way that they look, and they decide that they're gonna go out and they're gonna try to replicate that look. But they realize that they can't buy the exact look because this is a little bit expensive. I don't have money like that. So they go and find basically like a dupe or something at least a little bit more similar. So they go to that particular store, they find the one that's close enough, and little do they know, these shoes have probably been in the store for like a whole year, probably even longer than that. They've been here the whole time. But they found them and they like them and they decide to put an outfit together and they decide to wear them. Now let's say that this person, hypothetically, is like an influencer or something. So once they put these shoes on and they post about it, whether they make a YouTube video or an Instagram post, these shoes end up going viral. Everybody wants these shoes now. Everybody loves them. So they go to this department store and they're just like, hey, I need these shoes. Now, all of a sudden, these shoes that nobody cared about, that nobody wanted, that was barely making sales, is now their best seller. Because of that, these people that work at the department store are now going to put them in the front of the store. They're going to put them in the window. Thus, one day, you go to the mall, you pass the store, you see the shoes, you like them, and you buy them. Now, the gag is, you don't know this influencer. You ain't never heard of them. You ain't never cared for them. You never even was wearing them because you saw her wearing them. You just like the shoes because you seen them in the window. And you probably never heard that artist that even made the style popular. You probably have nothing to do with this person. But at the end of the day, that doesn't change the fact that an influence was made, whether it was from the influencer or whether it was from the artist. But nonetheless, the influence was the influence. The influence was there. And if it wasn't for that influence, you wouldn't have your shoes. Simple. And that's all I'm saying. That's literally all it is. But I know it's somebody out there that's going to be like, oh, you trying to say we all copying her? That ain't what I said. And if you've been on my channel long enough, you know that I say exactly what I mean. So if I was insinuating that, I would have said it. I didn't say that. So don't do that. And let's also address that as time goes on, people's opinions about stuff can change. So just going back to the Asian doll situation, maybe you did think her shoes were tacky when she first came out. Maybe you didn't see the vision. Maybe you truly did not like what she was bringing to the table and was just like, ugh. But then you seen it styled differently, or maybe you seen a particular piece by itself and was like, okay, I do like that. You know? Or maybe it's just years later and you really don't care for trends anymore. You really don't care for the BBL fashion, as they say, that we have going on now, and you just want something different. So boom, now you're wearing platform boots. Boom, now you want to wear a pleated skirt. It's basically like how people used to dog people out for wearing Crocs. They used to dog people out for wearing Skechers. They used to dog people out for wearing Champion. And now we proudly putting on our Crocs. We're proudly putting on our little New Balance shoes, even though y'all used to bully people for having them. Y'all are proud to wear Champion everything, down to the socks. And I don't think that's bad. I don't think you're a bad person for doing it. But all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, that's what you're supposed to do, because you're not supposed to remain the same person. You ain't supposed to be the same way that you were when you were 5 years old. But at the end of the day, stand on your shit. Just be real with yourself. You had an opinion about what the other person was doing, and then you turned around and did a similar style. Now, that's not wrong, because again, that's how fashion works and that's how people change over time. But at the end of the day, I'm not insinuating that Asian Doll was being directly copied off of, or people were directly inspired by Asian Doll. What I'm stating is that Asian Doll made a cultural impact. Barbie Doll Gang made a cultural impact, and you can see it be reflected a lot in today's time. Once upon a time, she used to put plaits in her head and people thought that she looked ridiculous and she looked like a child. In today's day and age, they're called Jada braids. Jada Waiter put them in her head. Now everybody wants to put them in their head. But to be honest, does Jada even know who Asian Doll is? Probably not. Has she ever been directly inspired by Asian Doll? We don't know that. But something came across Jada that just told her, hey, I really want to do this. And for all we know, it could have been a trickle-down effect because of Asian Doll or somebody else. Or like the fact that Asian Doll used to put a lot of balls and barrettes in her head. That was considered tacky at the time. People thought that she was a hood rat. But now the first thing that people want to do when they go to a fake Freaknik party, we putting balls in her head. And we're not batting an eye, we're not questioning it, we're not really bullying it, nothing. We hated the fact that she was wearing boots with certain outfits because it's like, oh my god, her feet look hot, she's making me hot, she's making me sweat. And now it's like a whole fashion trend to put on some boots in the summertime and take pictures. And we just gonna pretend like we don't know what we're talking about. We ain't never said that we hated Asian Doll. We ain't never said she looked tacky and she looked like a hood rat. Come on now. Come on now. You ain't gotta like her, but you also ain't gotta lie. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, I'm sorry that I'm making this video longer than what it has to be, but I just felt like somebody was gonna try that, and I had to clear that up because, baby, I'm not in the business of doing this, okay? I'm just not. But not only that, her and Cuban, they definitely put an impact on the industry, like I said. But again, did they invent things? No. But I do feel like there are, to a degree, a lot of people that don't give them the recognition that they deserve. Because I can vouch and say that if it wasn't for Asian Doll, I wouldn't have known nothing about no Dolls Kill. I never heard of them before. I never knew any of that. And the fact that she was essentially a brand ambassador for them as a black woman, that is a huge accomplishment. Because listen, Dolls Kill is already controversial. They already got some little skeptical things going on. So for her to be that person, to do that, that's a lot. That's a big accomplishment. Dolls Kill really need to pay her extra still to this day because of that. Because she really did put a lot of black girls on game. And with Cuban Doll was kind of on a different wave, but even with her, there were a lot of things that she influenced too, because I'm about to show my age real quick. For the record, I am 25, but there was a point in time where the Teen Shade Room was not affiliated with the real Shade Room. Yeah, the Teen Shade Room had no affiliation with the actual Shade Room. They had no blue check, they had no nothing. They were a regular page like everybody else, like any other T page. That's all they were. I remember the creator, I think she used to name herself like Mama T or something. She never told us her real name. But yeah, the person that was originally running that by herself with like one other girl, I was there from the very beginning. I was there when the page got deleted like what, 3 different times, and then they had to start all over. And the reason why the Teen Shade Room is an actual affiliation of the Shade Room to this day is literally because of Cuban. It is literally because of Cuban Doll. When the scandal of Offset cheating on Cardi B had came out, it was speculation that Cuban was one of the side chicks because her old assistant apparently tried to leak tea about her. But then it turned out it was actually one of Cuban Doll's friends. And then of course the situation with, you know, Rocky B and Stunna and her, that also hit the Teen Shade Room a lot. But the thing about it is that the Teen Shade Room was the only blog that actually knew what was happening and was the first person to report both incidences. And because of that, that's when the Shade Room reached out to the Teen Shade Room, and now they have ownership over the Teen Shade Room. And again, not to say that they started anything, but similar with Say Cheese TV. Say Cheese TV has actually been affiliated with Barbie Doll Gang since the very beginning, since it was multiple members and not just those two. When the girls were just party girls, he pretty much was the cameraman to help promote a lot of the parties. And when he started doing interviews with a lot of artists, Asian Doll was one of the first artists that he actually interviewed. And this was also during the time where the No Flocking remix was going viral. So due to the fact that Asian Doll already was getting a lot of hype, that just gave a lot of hype to his channel, and now we're here where we are today. Again, not saying that she made him, but you know, it's definitely like an influence there. And I believe that I mentioned it earlier, but I'm gonna say it again, which this is the part where I feel like y'all gonna, you know, try to come for me. But let's be honest and say that there were a lot of rap girls that came after them for the whole sole purpose of trying to be in competition with them. Are we gonna lie? Are we going to lie? Are we going to lie? Because I kid you not, there were certain people where the first song that they would drop, it would be about them. It would be about how they're different from them. They wouldn't specifically say that, they wouldn't outright say that, but they essentially would say that in their songs. There were a lot of girls that came after them just for the sake of being in competition with them. They seen them and were like, oh, I could do that, and then they came in. Let's also not forget that Cash Doll's song Here I Go was actually a diss towards Asian Doll during the whole doll debacle, and it spiked the Here I Go challenge that you often seen on TikTok and on Instagram. Even though Trippie Redd's song I People was very popular during the summer, a lot of people don't know that that was actually a song that poked fun at Cuban Doll's domestic violence situation. People were aware that Cuban Doll and Tato's relationship was toxic, especially with them going on and off a lot, but nobody knew the severity of their situation until Cuban had went out of her way to post a statement about her domestic violence situation after a fight with Tato caused her to be hospitalized.
Ass nigga. Pussy ass nigga. You're a bitch. This the truth. This really what the fuck happened. This nigga talk to all the bitches, but mad. But be mad when I talk to anybody. Pussy ass nigga. Look where I'm at. The hospital. My hip is broke.
Now, Tekashi 6ix9ine is not my favorite person on the planet, but I have to say that out of all the men that Cuban Doll knew personally, especially worked with in the industry, he was the only one that really had her back and was willing to go toe-to-toe with Tato. Hence the reason why there ended up being a very infamous FaceTime call between him and Tato, which led to the infamous line,
"You hear me? Shut the nigga, fuck up, you do not kill nobody, blood."
So yeah, the song of 2018 summer was based off of Cuban's trauma and also featured her abuser on the song. So yeah, that's my thing. My thing with Asian Doll is that I feel like sometimes her delivery is wrong, but sometimes her reasoning is a little bit right. Like there's a little method to her madness. Like, to a degree, she is not wrong. Her and Cuban have had enough clout to where they have changed a lot in pop culture and a lot in like fashion and music and everything like that. They definitely had an impact. They definitely did. But again, when you come off as, oh, I'm the first person to do this, and everybody else is copying me and everybody else ain't giving me my props, like just coming off real aggressive, that's gonna make people be real turned off from you, because it's not given and it don't make you look good either way. Now it's time for us to get into the real reason why we tuned into this video. I know y'all been waiting. It's here now. Let's talk about Cuban Doll and Asian Doll's falling out. Essentially the huge downfall of Barbie Doll Gang as we know it. So the year is 2016. This was during the time where the viral video happened and the No Flockin' remix was highly anticipated. Shortly after that, Barbie Doll Gang moves to Atlanta and they all live in a house together. Cuban Doll is even prospering in her own career with her modeling career, especially after the fact that during this time, her and Tato had came out as a couple and they were real hot and heavy to the point where she got that man tatted on her body. All eyes are on Barbie Doll Gang and there is an influx of female rappers that are coming in after them. Like, it is just the perfect time for their careers to take off and get all the attention. But shortly after that, fans started to notice how distant the two were becoming. Videos and pictures began to be deleted off of Instagram. Asian Doll had her fair share of making certain shady tweets. And one day, Cuban Doll's Twitter just magically disappears. So of course, people that were big fans of Barbie Doll Gang started to ask questions. And even though it wasn't specified exactly what was going on or what was happening, when Asian Doll was asked what happened to Cuban Doll, she was very direct with how she felt.
What happened between you and who? What? Stop asking about these dumb ass bitches. I don't give a fuck about these hoes. These hoes care about me. I don't give a fuck about these bitches. Girl, what's your question? Tell me I quit ignoring my question. What's your question? I'm waiting. Some people type it too slow. No. I'm Asian Doll. No. You talking about my song? I know. I'm not. So what, girl? I finna fight you. You right there. The Kayla.
What they say?
They just talking about the situation with that girl and where she at and shit like that. I'm just getting on her ass for even asking me that shit.
Also around this time, Cuban Doll decided to release a snippet of a song that she made called Get Money. So now Cuban decided that she was going to take a hand in rapping instead of just being a model and a video vixen. And shortly after this, that is when Asian Doll decided to release a diss track called Swerve. And in this diss track, Asian Doll pretty much didn't hold back. She claimed that Cuban Doll was using her for clout, sleeping around with people in the industry, and of course, Cuban was the one that was copying her too. She later on deleted that song as well because she felt like she was in an era where she was too mature to be acting like that. But again, you can find it on YouTube from someone else. But yeah, for a while, it was just Asian Doll being loud and proud about her dislike with Cuban. Cuban for a long time, and I mean a long time, honestly never dissed or disrespected Asian Doll. So she actually did make a diss song shortly after Asian did, but she never promoted it like a diss. She promoted it like a regular song, so a lot of people didn't even know that this was a diss song. But other than that, yeah, she pretty much stayed quiet. From the looks of it, it seemed like she genuinely was mourning the end of their friendship. And at this time, we had no idea exactly why they fell out to begin with. Cuban was just focusing on her music career, and that was it.
We seen you with Asian Doll, and people are wondering what's going on with y'all because we haven't seen y'all currently together at all at the moment. It seems like y'all distanced each other from the past. So is there like anything going on?
I mean, there's to be honest, there was like, there's no real beef. Like, everybody think there's beef and then we out to get each other or I don't know, but there's not real beef. Like, it's just like she got a manager and he basically don't want me around, so there was no real story to tell why we not cool. So at this point, motherfuckers just start making up shit, like all type of shit. But I already expected it. I knew it was gonna happen, but I just didn't know how soon it was gonna happen. So when it did, I had just cut all that off and walked away from the whole situation. So
right now, we seen on Twitter a couple of rants going on and a couple of tweets. Can you explain that?
I mean, you gotta be specific. Like what tweets? What
we seen Asian Doll tweeting about homeless and helping other bitches out, and then we seen you tweet some other things about the situation. Is there any correlation to it, or is it just made up?
I mean, part of that is true, but it ain't it ain't all the way true. Like, motherfuckers try to throw you under the bus to make themselves look good, so they don't say like the full story of what's really going on. I mean, and I didn't expect her to say like what's really going on, like what really happened. I mean, because then it doesn't give her a bad look. But yeah, I was homeless. Like, my mom, she got booked when I was 15. I'm 18 right now, so I didn't know her. So I stayed with her and her mom and shit. But I still had to get my own money, like, you know.
Right.
I don't know, but it wasn't just like, I don't know. It ain't how what people think it is, or whatever it is. But that situation is just so retarded to me. Like this song got about me or whatever. I'm like, damn, really? It was my man. I can't even find myself to, have like a real conversation about your life because it's like personal.
Right.
Same time, I don't even care to have like an interview about this because it ain't gonna like better me.
There also came a point in time where Cuban decided that she would change her name and decided to go by Cuban the Savage in order to distance herself from Asian Doll and Barbie Doll Gang as a whole. But it seemed like the more that Cuban stayed quiet, the harder Asian Doll went.
Bitch, your whole
video
fake ass, bullshit ass rap career is based off me. Every song you got weak as hell. You do like, bro, be a risk. You gonna be a rapper, bitch. Rap about some shit you done been through, like it's fucking everybody, niggas, and fucking everybody. Stop rapping like you gangster. You killing shit. You shoot shit up, and you out here knocking hoes out, hoes scat, girl. And then talk about my manager. The bitch might have did an interview. We not cool cause my manager, bitch, I barely knew my manager. How the fuck we ain't cool cause my manager? Bitch, you slept in his house, he fed you, bitch. Why'd you lying? I made one song, bro, and deleted that shit. One song and deleted that shit cause I said, bro, you know what? That's just real childish for me. I'm finna be in the industry. Bro, I got Universe wanna sign me. I got Atlantic wanna sign me. I'm really just finna do some shit with my life. So why would I just diss this bitch? Let me not do this to her. Bitch's whole life be based off me. Bitch can't even make a song unless she thinking about Asian Doll. That ain't no real rapper, bitch. From my mom, this bitch stayed in my household, so this hoe know how we square business. My mama real OG Crip. Don't give a fuck how old you is, will slap the shit out of you if you with any blood shit. Yeah, bitch, you couldn't even say blood. You was damn near a Crip. My brother 13 and he a savage. Girl, you a dumbass bitch. Your brother was 11 years old, bro, and you put your brother on drugs. I used to be finna beat your ass because you used to get your brother 11, bro. This how used to get her brother 4 locos, weed, bars. This bitch was just frying her little. I inspired my hood. Everybody in Dallas rap because of me, bitch. Everybody, I don't give a fuck who you is. You rap because of me. Everybody. Then the bitch talking about BDG found a girl. If I didn't rap about you, bitch, nobody would know you. I gave you, bitch, that's why I really never paid this bitch no attention. Bitch, I gave you Cuban Doll Savage name. I gave you that name. I gave you Cuban Link name. I gave you the name. Bitch, you couldn't think of this shit by yourself. What are you talking about? I gave you them names. Bitch, you think I'm finna give a fuck about a hoe dissing me who I gave a name to? What is you talking about, shorty? I don't care about none of that. The next dick they finna suck for some money. How the fuck they finna sleep at night? How the fuck they finna get some comments on the next whack-ass video she dropped? Who the fuck? I could've, bro. You know how many videos I could've dropped if I gave a fuck? You know how many videos? Bro, all world star shit. No normal shit. No normal photo shoots. No normal nothing. Bitch, I don't even walk normal no more, ho. I walk like I got a check. Bitch, I walk like I'm in my bag, literally. What is y'all talking about? I'm been with the shits. I'm not only with the shits, bitch, I made the shits. The bitches that she hanging with right now fucked her nigga. How you hang with a bitch who fucked your nigga? When I found out you fucked my nigga, bitch, I cut you off. I had been cut off. I wish I would have found that out, bro, when I was cool with her. That hoe would have just been leaking. I would have just snuck that bitch right in her face. Dead ass serious, bro. I'm not even trying to put nobody in and shit, but my homegirl can tell you, bro, I done charged this bitch up plenty of times. My homegirl can tell you right now that I called this bitch and I tried to pull up on her and I tried to get her to pull up. Me and her situation over with. That shit done with, bro. I pulled up twice. Just leave me out your life. Stop talking about me. Stop mentioning it. And it's crazy because everything I'm telling y'all right now on my mama, nigga, on my nephew's soul, bro, cross my heart. I can fucking die right now. I told this bitch to her face to face. When this bitch left out, I was clapping my hands in this whole face like this. Bitch, you a fake ass hoe. You start hating on me, bitch. And guess what she's. And then I found out she was crying. When she was in the car, my homegirl told me she was crying. You serious? She fuck around and fuck her manager. Dead ass serious. Bitch probably can't even spell manager. Bitch ain't been to school since 3rd grade. Retarded ass. You retarded. These hoes really retarded. Oh yeah, and then the bitch was still back at the strip club. I begged her to stop stripping, y'all. Let me tell you about this story. I begged this hoe to stop stripping. I said, bro, we got fans. Well, I got real fans. I said, bro, motherfuckers got fans. BDG got fans, but we got little girls who actually look up to us. How the fuck a bitch gonna be out here stripping? The bitch wanting 18 2 minutes. The bitch already at the strip club popping pussy. I said, bro, we can't do that. We got kids looking up to us, bro. We literally gotta be silent. I'm telling y'all, every mistake this little bitch made, I talked this hoe out of it. Every mistake that can ruin her life, I talked her out of it. That's why that bitch, I made you the girl you is today. You ain't no hustler, cause you dumb as hell. If I would be out here fucking everybody. So I ended up telling my manager, cause he called me like, what's up? I'm like, man, I'm finna whoop this hoe. I'm gonna hit you back. No, Asian, no, please don't fight her. He had to put his daddy on. His daddy, first of all, his daddy a billionaire. Not even a millionaire, a billionaire. When I did that popping video, there wasn't no Airbnb. Yeah, that was my manager daddy's real crib. His second crib, his other crib around the corner. And we ate lunch with the presidents of motherfucking Atlantic Records. Yeah, still in sign. Need them M's. Anyways, he getting the phone. Asian, please. We're finna be in a position where we're finna make millions of dollars. You cannot do this. You do not want to go to jail. I know that's your past. I know that's how you are, but we can't do it. Fucking just tired to get talked out of beating your ass by millionaires. See, if I was in the hood, what? Bitch was knocked on that door. First, you ain't got no door to knock on, bitch. Bitch, I'ma knock on your cardboard box house. See, Tato. But then, they get there, she call him a bitch, he slap her, she get mad, she go with Tato, fuck Tato. But then she still fuck Miles. That's 3 bodies. Bitch did 3 bodies in less than 24 hours. That's a train. You might as well should have got trained. They should have all bent you over, bitch, and just all took turns. That's 3 bodies. You did 3 bodies, bro, in 24 hours, bro. We home, girl, bro. One thing about friends is supposed to be there with nobody else. Like when your mama not there, your daddy not there. Friends supposed to be there when you ain't got nobody else. That supposed to be the bitch you can call and be like, hey, bro, I just got put at my mama's house. This hoe getting on my nerves. Come get me. That's what the friend is for.
There even came a point in time where Asian actually got a Cuban doll replacement or a Cuban doll look-alike, and that was crazy. That was a crazy experience to witness. But yeah, the beef was serious between them apparently. And then one day, Cuban had enough, and she decided to just spill the beans on everything. A fan on Twitter asked Cuban, "You and Asian doll beefing?" She responded, "She beefing with herself, #delusional." She proceeds to say, "How I get all the plugs? They rock with Cuban alone. They don't have a story, they will make it. If you don't rock with me, don't say ish to me. I was 15 and homeless because my mama got locked up and I had nowhere to go, and you think that's funny? Wow, no cool points. Try again. Speaking on my name like one of my dudes. You tried to throw me under the bus and the bus missed. Ain't nobody give me ish. I bought my own car, started my own dealership. That's how the game go. You don't know, they gon' talk. I'm one deep with my heat. F dissing old friends on a beat. I gave this beat everything, even the phone in her hands. Don't let nobody trick y'all. To tell you the truth, I don't know why these bees hate me." A few months later on Valentine's Day, Cuban released her debut album, Cuban Link, and took off from there, especially with her biggest hit off the album, Let It Blow, featuring Molly Brazy. Cuban was practically an overnight success. In the same interview when Asian Doll was asked about her relationship with Molly, she was also asked if her and Cuban would ever settle their differences and put out music together. Again, she chose not to comment, but had a change of heart a month later.
You don't like talking about the Cuban Doll shit, but is it like true that she tried to give you advice and then that's where shit went downhill because you didn't want to take her advice?
No, the truth. Oh my God, she started hating. She just started.
I mean, I don't, because this is the thing. I don't want to talk about this shit, and then when I get home, you tell me to edit it out. So either we gonna talk about it or we not, my nigga.
I was rapping, and it's like I was like the leader. No matter who you were, female artist, no matter who you was, bro, when it came down to me, everybody looked up to me. Everybody. So people, everything about like they ass just rode the wave until we got to Atlanta, and you can just branch off and do what you want to do because you already, you feel me? So it was like that. It was never like, no, like friends go through a lot of shit and shit like that, but it was, I feel like I don't get mad over niggas, I don't get mad over none of that shit. But once you play with me on social media, it be a rap. I be like, bro, like, you gotta go on social media and say, fight me for 10K when I would demolish you, bro. Like, when I would thrash, like, that's what I'm saying. That's the only reason why I reacted, cause the 10K, I would fight you. Like, don't play, don't even play with me. That's why I said what I said on live and shit like that, but at the end of the day, yeah. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming because when I dropped Project Princess, the shit that I was saying, I'm the Project Princess, I'm the princess of rap, I'm this, I'm that. But I never did shit for bitches. I never did shit to nobody around me like, oh, I'm better than you, oh, I do this better than you. It was never that. Like, people whole time in the back, mad, looking, I can do that, I can be her, that's like, you feel me? That's how shit went. But at the end of the day, yeah.
If you can't tell by now, these two can be very petty, but in their own special way. But Cuban was about to show the world just how petty she could really be. Asian Doll was preparing to release another mixtape to hold her fans over for her big project titled Out of Space. So she came up with the mixtape Kill Bill Volume 1. Asian Doll is known for releasing multiple cover arts for her songs and albums, so fans never knew what the final outcome will be. But this time, she seemingly fell in love with the yellow background and the rendition of the character Go-Go from the movie Kill Bill. So when Cuban and Molly released a song called Clueless that had a yellow background and the silhouette of a woman with a sword, Asian felt like they were stealing her concept. I could see how she felt that way, but Asian wasn't using the main character as her cover, she was using Go-Go. So to me, it's a huge difference, but I also can see just based off of the comparison how she would take it that way. But either way, this started an argument within itself and caused more drama. Nonetheless, Asian Doll decided that she was going to keep the same cover art and she just went from yellow to pink. I want to give a quick shout out to the girl that actually did make the picture of Go-Go because I'm not 100% sure if she was the reason for Asian Doll's cover art or if they just took her picture, added some color, and added some embellishments. But I looked at her work, it's very decent, and I haven't seen anybody credit her, so I decided to credit her myself because, I mean, it doesn't hurt to give credit when it's due. So shout out to Sonya. After this fiasco and seeing the first two initial interviews of Asian Doll speaking on their beef, Cuban goes on Say Cheese TV and tells her own variation of the story.
You put out records, Asian Doll put out records, and sometimes on SoundCloud, somebody will upload it themselves and be like, Asian Doll this or Cuban Doll this. But before we get into that, what was the whole falling out about?
The whole falling out. Well, one day she was just, I don't know, I think she was just shooting slugs at me on Twitter one day. And then out of nowhere, she just texted me and was like, you want some hating ass shit, you gonna find yourself left. I don't know what? Hating? How am I hating? We best friends, I help you do everything. Or whatever. She was just telling me I wasn't working hard enough. I guess I wasn't going hard as I used to for her. I just feel like I didn't need to no more. Like, you already at that point, so I really don't gotta help you with shit else. Yeah. But like, she didn't have no manager, so it's like I was just like really posting her pictures, posting her, like just doing the most, just basically promoting her shit. I feel like I slowed down doing that, so she feel like I was hating.
Yeah.
And shit. And I really wasn't hyped over all the shit she was doing, cause like we used to it now. Like, fuck it. Like, who gives a fuck? It ain't shit. Then half of the shit that we be doing is like, it just be for the pictures. It was like we in fat ass mansions and shit, but it wasn't ours. We in all these clean ass cars and shit, but it ain't ours. So I was just like real humble about shit. I ain't really say too much, do too much. So I guess she thought I was hating cause of that shit. So I'm like, alright, whatever. And she was like, you ain't gonna be shit without me. Without me, you going straight to the bottom. She said this shit. I was like, damn. Now I know where our friendship stand. And then at that point, I knew that we could no longer be friends. So shit, I just got all my shit to left. And shit, we started arguing in person, and then I really didn't have too much to say. I'm like, alright, I'ma just let you think what you wanna think. You saying I'm gonna go to the bottom, what type of shit is that? She was saying basically I need her to do anything. That's what she was saying.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, you feel like that? So I was like, alright, I know what I gotta do now. I gotta turn up on my own and be like, bitch, you got me fucked up, basically.
So is this like real beef, or is it like if y'all see each other there, would it just be like y'all walk by each other? Is it real beef? Is it just rap entertainment? Like, what is this?
Well, I seen an interview where she was like, we on some real street shit. She lied, we not on no real street shit. Because if we was on some real street shit, then why you take it to the Twitter first? Like, you feel me? You took the shit to Twitter, and then you made a diss song about me first. You made the diss song less than 24 hours. You deserve a reward. Shit, if you make a diss song less than 24 hours, she probably made that bitch in 5 minutes. Yeah. But it's like, damn, you threw a diss song at me, like, so you want to rap beef with me. You started rap beef. But she always acting like she just so against rap beef and giving out clout and this and that. That ain't even a situation, because me being me, can't no hoe give me no clout. You feel me? We was on the same page. So how you gonna give me clout? You ain't no bigger than me, period. Like, that's that. Yeah. I ain't no bigger than you either. I'm not finna be on a pedestal and just throw you under the bus like that. I'm not that type of bitch. Like, that shit lame to me, but yeah, I made a diss song, shit. At least I told all facts. Smoking dank, bitches think, like, real life. All this shit is true, like. But if we on some real street beef, no, cause we ain't get into it over no real street shit. Like, you feel me? We not in the streets beefing, my nigga. We was on the internet beefing. I don't give a fuck about you in these streets. It's like, I be too damn busy.
Yeah.
Like, if we see each other, we probably do fight. Just cause, like, she's mad.
Can we ever, can y'all ever put this to the side and, get something in together? Cause it seems like what y'all getting over to is just petty. It's nonsense.
Yeah, it is petty, like, but she took it serious. But can we ever, what is you saying? Can we ever, put our differences aside?
Yeah, and work together.
Definitely not.
So I don't know if the cover art situation really got up under her skin, or if Cuban Doll just had enough, but it got to a point to where Cuban Doll decided that she was going to pull up on Asian at one of her shows, and she went live showing herself trying to get through security to get to the dressing room to get to Asian, but she never came out and security wouldn't let her go through the dressing room. So she decided to stay for a long period of time and take pictures and videos with the fans. So eventually time had went past, Cuban Doll got tired of waiting, and she decided that she was going to leave, and she went live again as she was leaving the venue and played one of her new songs that ended up turning out to be a diss song towards Asian Doll called Rat Bitch, which she released the next day. Cuban was in her get your lick back era clearly, and it didn't stop there. Cuban took to Twitter and spilled even more tea about Asian Doll and their friendship. Quick shout out to the music nerd. A lot of these tweets have been deleted since then, and I was able to grab a few, but I'll be incorporating the tweets they have with the tweets that I have. She starts off by saying, "You got me started. I ain't want to do it to you. Broke AB. Staying with Jonathan and Ish, but you supposed to be rich. What happened? You can't sing for Ish. That auto-tune Ish weak as hell. Sorry sis, you not Uzi. B, I help you with everything. Gave you money, clothes, help you with phone bills, gave you my old weave, all types of Ish. You wanted to stop rapping because it wasn't going nowhere. I talked you into rapping, B. You was even gonna get a job at Forever 21. You was a stripper with me, but you only did it one time because you made like $15 only. You still wearing them cheap A clothes? Call me a hoe, slut, whatever all day. I don't care because you just the same. Ha ha ho. Yo mama, sis, and brother call you musty. Sosa said you was musty the day we was with them in Dallas. OMG. And I blocked cause you a bug. Like, B, go away. If I ain't in your way, then WTF you still throwing salt for? Anybody from Dallas know the real Asian doll? Mama, she was always musty or something or was broke. You pushed me to this point. You said I wasn't gonna be ish without you. Look at me now, B. I'm lit AF and making money. I don't have to be a stripper hoe. I was trying to be the bigger person. You just really played yourself. I'm gonna make sure every day I flex on your AB. Only people who said I'm lying is her fans that never met her. Sorry to tell y'all the truth. I never wanted to even tweet ish about this B, but this B here just stunt and lie too much. I'm sick of it. Asian Doll chimes in by saying only weak bees block you so that they can tweet about you, and Cuban responds back saying unblocked, bye musty, bye dusty, but let's go. You lie about everything. Let's not forget, sis. You don't want to see nobody win. Shaking my head. Only you. She then proceeds to share a picture of Asian Doll next to the woman from Holiday Heart and titles it Twins. Then she proceeds to say, watch how she make up unbelievable lies now. Rich, huh? Show me 10K. No, show me 5K. You wanted me to be at your mama house with you because you was lonely in that weak A apartment. A commenter comments her skin is all bad. Cuban responds by saying maybe if she took a shower. I cannot make this up. LMAO, look at all the Dallas people like she's not lying. Be lucky all the Dallas people on Facebook. I don't gotta lie about ish, ain't no point of that. Then this B always calling me lonely like B, you don't even know what the F be going on, lame A girl. A fan responds to the comment made about her wearing old hair and Cuban responds, yes sis. Another fan says something not adding up and Cuban responds, B, a lot not adding up. Another fan comments by saying, I'm just loving all this. Finally Cuban speaking up and standing her ground. She's been quiet for too long. Cuban responds by saying, no, I'm really stepping out of my character because I'm not the type to do all this, but F it. Another fan responds by saying, y'all both was broke. Cuban responds saying, I never said I wasn't. Hell, I ain't rich. B, sit down. Be humble. Lord forgive me for my next speech. Yes, I dropped out of school. I didn't know any better. A fan responds by saying, Cuban got every right to tweet Asian Doll. She was asking for it. Cuban responds by saying, sis, I'm gonna have you beat her A because I never want to be by Lil Musty. In a now deleted tweet, Asian Doll says, this went from you getting caught trying to F Izzy to you pouring your heart out. Confused little thought. Cuban responds by saying, B, when did I try to F him? Show me. A fan comments saying, wasn't Asian just in your DM a while back trying to be back cool again? Cuban responds saying, yes, Asian Doll, post the message, please. Anything I do, this hoe gon' talk down. B, where your home? Get out of Jonathan house. Meanwhile, she promoting hair, Wright was asking 24K bundles if she can have some hair. B, bye. Go reuse your old hair. Show me so much ish. This B thinks she know me, it's sad. What that bank look like? This B wasn't even getting her hair done. B, you just started when I did. Talk ish when you get new clothes or something, B. Since you so big and bad, pull up on me. Asian Doll responds saying, B sucks so bad it's embarrassing. Cuban says, so you go hard, huh? Oh. She then responds by saying, you so pop, it's embarrassing. Them weak A shows is embarrassing. A fan responds by saying she probably paying to perform. Cuban responds saying she didn't get paid, it was free cause they asked me to. Okay, I'm done y'all, until she talk more ish. She then quotes an Asian Doll lyric that says, Lil Cuban she a B, she'll slap a B for me. Yeah, you know I always been on BS. I can show you what them bands do. Never been a hoe, and them games, we don't play like that. Today already a good day. She mad like always. B ain't never slapped nobody in her life, that's a fact. While Cuban was going on a 2-day rant, Asian Doll didn't really have much to contribute to the conversation besides these few tweets. She has a tweet that reads, Bees don't like me but will watch me on Instagram Live. Weirdo. You can see where she refers to Cuban blocking her and then she follows it up by saying, leave me alone, stalker. Shut up. I'm never worried about the next B. She then promotes her song called Rockstar and then says, why do people think I'm so funny? So now Cuban is letting it be known that everything is fake. The cars are fake. The mansions are fake. Asian Doll never made her. If anything, she made Asian Doll because she was the one with all the connects. She was her DJ. She was her manager. She was her hairstylist. And then there were even comments about how Asian Doll apparently was musty and had bad skin. Like at this point, Cuban was pissed and she just didn't hold back. It was crazy. It was hectic. They was really going at it. And even though there were people that were entertained by it, majority of people were very devastated by this. Everybody wanted to see the girls be cool again because they literally were best friend goals. Like that was one of their brands, was how close they were as people. And even their mutual friend G Gotti, when she came out of jail, she was trying to get them back cool too, but it just didn't work. She takes to Instagram and says, "I really do wish everybody could come together as one, put all the differences aside, and let all the whack beef go. What's more lit than one big room full of lit bees? Y'all see Drake and Meek, and so on. Ladies, come on. I don't really give a F about beefing. It's not real if your enemy alive. So since we all living, let's ball." Now there was a brief time period where they got back cool again, but when I say brief, I mean it was brief. When the situation between Tato and Cuban happened, Asian Doll was one of the first people to speak out. She takes to Instagram and says, "Before rap, me and Cuban was the most closest friends. When you seen her, you seen me. We used to have each other back no matter what. Long story short, despite everything that's been happening between us, me and my girl Cuban know we would have both beat the F out of Tato. On God, that lame A dude, so insecure, he been like that. Seeing her face swollen broke my heart into pieces. I'll always love you. I'll always be here for you. Nobody knows us like we do. None of these Instagram people. I wish I can just call you and cry with you because I know together we way stronger than anybody. Love you, bro, forever." I only posted this on IG because we both blocked each other page and phone number. Eventually the two get in contact and make amends with each other. Not only did we start to see Cuban back in Asian Doll's music videos, but they also were featured on a few songs together, just like the fans had been waiting for.
We got these bitches scared now. Got these bitches scared. They shaking. We got these bitches finna cry.
So this situation actually brought them both together for a second, but then there came a point where Cuban Doll ended up beefing with another female rapper named Rocky B. And during a time where they were actually in Detroit doing a video shoot with Honey Oso, Rocky B allegedly pulled up to the studio and decided to fight Cuban. And from what Rocky B has said, basically she beat up Cuban and Asian Doll sat there and laughed the whole time.
Cuban Doll got her ass beat. We'll talk this shit. That bitch Honey was like, hold on, she back the fuck. She back the fuck up. Like what? Let me tell y'all something.
Asian Doll didn't even jump in. She stood.
Hold on, fuck it. It was a one-on-one. So even if she had to jump in, one of my mans was gonna jump in. So fuck it. It was a one-on-one.
You kind of gotta sleep on that shit, my nigga. Like, it is what it is.
Asian Doll sat there.
Don't play with me.
Asian Doll let her get beat up. Asian Doll was, no, Rocky, that's enough. That's my favorite part. That's enough, Rocky. Stop.
No, Asian Doll didn't get touched for what? What am I gonna touch Asian Doll for? Asian Doll never popped up at me. Asian Doll didn't have a problem with me. And Asian Doll didn't do anything. So I touch her. No.
So say something if you want to, my baby.
Like this, our homegirl would text her nigga and said that bitch got beat up. What the fuck are you talking about?
My baby, a bitch you went. Text her nigga and let it be known you got your ass beat. I don't care about none of that makeup shit, none of that wig shit, none of that. No, my baby, it's okay. You took your L. Shut up, bitch. You got in the car while I was still standing there. Like usually, the people that won usually
why do
don't
you
be in the
talk
car
about
first.
bitch you better?
This me being 100 with you, my dog. If I was you, I would reevaluate everybody I came to Detroit with. Cause that wouldn't have happened, my baby. I don't give a fuck if we had got our ass beat together, nigga. That wouldn't have happened. Oh well, nigga. Fuck you talking about?
So shortly after that situation, they were no longer friends. It hasn't been fully cleared if that was the reason why, but it has been heavily speculated. There was even a point in time where Asian Doll deliberately became friends with Cuban Doll's ex-assistant. Yes, the same messy ex-assistant that tried to accuse Cuban Doll of being Offset's side piece. Yeah, that one. Fun fact, she's also the girl that went viral for coughing on the Uber driver. So if you recognize this video, yeah, that's the same person. I tell y'all all the time, Barbie Doll Gang is connected to a lot. I was not joking. Asian Doll purposely teamed up with her old assistant and literally caught Cuban in traffic trying to fight her.
This bitch scary as fuck. You is scary as fuck, Cuban. Pull over. You scary. We ain't going nowhere, bitch. You gonna have to hit this car. What's up? We ain't, no, none of that. Pull over. So scared. They
bro. No bullshit, bro. We been chasing this girl for like 10 minutes straight, bro. 10 minutes straight, bro. 10 minutes straight, bro. This girl has not pulled over, bro. We've been on the highway 10 minutes. Stop fucking playing with me, bitch. I don't shit.
Now, beforehand, everything went from being petty jabs on the internet to being physical jabs in person.
This the girl, Asian doll done beat the girl up. Right here. Oh, this Asian doll bitch done beat the girl up. Asian doll done brought some straight menaces out here.
Shit clean.
It's clean.
Oh, okay.
We on live right now.
Oh, that shit nice.
That shit nice right now. Fuck you mean, nigga. Fuck you mean, nigga.
Yeah, so you better get that shit.
Fuck you
that
mean, nigga.
Crisp.
She better come out here and turn up.
You scary, hoe. You scary. On my mama, you scary, hoe. Bitch, you scary, hoe. Bitch, you eyes spit on y'all.
Try to tell y'all hoes chill. Now look. Try to tell y'all hoes chill. Now look. Try to tell y'all hoes chill. Now look. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Who you looking at? Who you looking at? Who you looking at? Who you looking at? Open your eyes. Y'all hoes going viral, homie. IG. Viral, homie. Viral. Asian dog. Viral, homie. Y'all hoes going viral, homie. Try to tell y'all hoes chill. Now y'all hoes got mace. Bang it. Y'all hoes gotta leave now. Now y'all hoes gotta leave.
Honey, this feud was so powerful, it practically split the rap girls into two different categories. So there were certain rappers that were clearly for Asian Doll and clearly for Cuban Doll. And neither party hid the fact that they supported the other person. Not to mention that during this time, this was also the time that Cardi B and Nicki Minaj had their very public feud and their very public falling out with each other. And of course, people made references to both situations being very parallel to each other. But what made it worse was that even though both of these female rappers, these A-list female rappers, supported all female rappers across the board, Cardi B was publicly co-signing and supporting Cuban Doll before she found out about the Offset situation. And Nicki Minaj was publicly co-signing for Asian Doll. So essentially, even people that were listening to Nicki Minaj and Cardi B at this time heard about the feud themselves, and yeah, literally, the industry split into two different groups. Fan bases split into two separate groups. It was that big. So obviously, this was the downfall of Barbie Doll Gang. Obviously, because they're no longer a duo. So essentially, Barbie Doll Gang is like no longer. But the reason why this essentially is just like the end of Barbie Doll Gang as a legacy, as a movement, is because during this time, these girls were exposing the hell out of each other. Whether it was true or false, they were letting everything be out. So all of these things are happening, and you see all of these examples of them going back on so many things that they have vouched for in the past. So for example, on their come up, they made it very clear that they were not interested in trying to be in a relationship and that men were going to be the downfall of this group.
Have y'all ever thought of getting into a relationship?
No.
Have y'all ever thought of relationships? Because it seems like we haven't seen no niggas cuffed you up or y'all up.
We be on that gang shit. We don't.
We just trying to get rich.
Rich. That's
Niggas
real talk
is a
though.
distraction.
Niggas is a
They slow
distraction.
bitches down.
That's my advice to any female who's trying to make it.
Yep.
Don't never ever have a
BDG,
boyfriend
no
until you
distraction.
make it. Don't never have a boyfriend until you make it.
Yeah, most niggas want to use you for your
Money, fame, nigga
They
wanna
be looking
shout
for
out,
niggas come
nigga be
up.
wanna knock the hate, like you wanna go studio, nigga be trying to control, we ain't got time for no
We wanna
problem.
live,
We got a fucking journey we trying to achieve.
I think
We
we
ain't
made
trying
it
to
far by not fucking with niggas.
Oh yeah, we made it far. What? We made it far from not fucking with niggas. We just
niggas fool.
Niggas is fool.
They come with a lot of drama.
Problems, a lot of hoes.
Say the drama. These out by getting money. Period.
He said about relationship.
But yet, Asian Doll had dated 600 Breezy. It was rumored that she was even dating PNB Rock at one point in time. Cuban Doll and Tato pretty much have had a relationship that whole entire time. And then there was a point in time where Cuban Doll and Kodak Black were in a relationship. And yet they both used to attest for each other. that neither one of them were in relationships and neither one of them were really focused on that, and they were focused on their careers and focused on each other. Now, here's my thing. This is nothing new. There were actually a ton of artists that have came on the scene and said that they were single and they were in whole relationships. Like, this is just a media tactic that people do. But I feel like the reason why so many people were affected by this is simply because Asian Doll was an independent artist. And Cuban Doll, even though she had a modeling career, she didn't have a manager. She didn't have anybody. She didn't have a PR team or anything. So there's no big machine or big company that's convincing any of these girls to lie on anybody's behalf. They just chose to. So I feel like with the fans, they probably felt cheated because of that, because it's like, you don't have to lie to us. One of the main reasons why we liked y'all so much is because y'all kept it real and stayed true to y'allselves, and now it's being very clear that y'all were never true to y'allselves. And then let's talk about the stripping allegations, because apparently Asian Doll in her live, she went out of her way to let it be known that once upon a time Cuban used to be a stripper as soon as she turned 18, and she convinced Cuban to get off the pole. But according to a lot of locals in Dallas, Texas, apparently both of them were strippers, and they were stripping for a long time. And I've noticed that during my research, there's a lot of people that back up what Cuban has said, and when it comes to what Asian Doll has said, a lot of people have spoken up and said that she was lying.
And I just feel like, you know, she don't keep it real. I mean, you walking around with fake ass tukas and shit, you know, you talking about some shit you ain't even living that shit.
So do y'all know each other, or is it just...
I mean, I don't know her, but, you know, shit getting back to me, you know, I got fans that send me pictures and all type of shit about this hoe. You know, her name Mama. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to put you out there right now like that. You know, so I done heard too much bad, you know what I'm saying? You know, but that hot shit a motherfucker. You got to keep that shit intact. I'm going to just say that, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to say that and I'm going to move on, you know.
So remember, everything that's stated in this video is alleged. This is all for entertainment, but yeah, do with that what you will. So obviously this fight was a very big downturn for Barbie Doll Gang as a legacy, because now it's just a bunch of people that see it as a joke. There's a lot of people that just don't trust it. And then not only that, this also affected them as well, because there were a lot of people that started to weasel their way in because the powerhouse of Barbie Doll Gang no longer existed. Like I said, there were a lot of people that were proudly Team Cuban and Team Asian. But the gag of it all is that majority of them people that chose either side did not like neither one of them. Neither one. And I hate to say I told you so, because honestly I seen that from the very beginning, but you know, you live and you learn. But yeah, them girls did not team up with Cuban or team up with Asian because they genuinely cared about either one of them. They took an opportunity and they took off with it. Now, I'm not going to specify who, I'm not going to specify no names, I'm just going to, you know, we not talking about that, and this isn't with the intentions of being messy. But if you open your eyes, you can tell. You can definitely tell who did what and who did who. You can tell on either side. Asian Doll side, Cuban Doll side, you can choose whichever side you want, and you can pinpoint each and every person that was there once upon a time and just suddenly disappeared. Yeah, you could see it. And in the process of these people weaseling their way in, they pushed Barbie Doll Gang to the background. They pushed Asian Doll and Cuban Doll separately to the background. So essentially, again, Asian Doll and Cuban Doll were erasing themselves from history. They were erasing their own legacy just to spite the other person. Because now you got people taking credit for things that they never did until they teamed up with Asian Doll or until they teamed up with Cuban Doll. And a lot of them same people, I hate to say it, they are actually doing better than both of them. So it's very unfortunate that they allowed this to happen, honestly. Like, to start a movement, have people ride that wave, and then those people get credit for that wave and not the originators, that has to hurt. That has to sting. So this also was an issue because this essentially damaged both of their brands, because I feel like they had one of those friendships where they complimented each other very well and they looked out for each other for the dangers that the other person didn't see. So once they split up, it was a lot of things that just started happening for the both of them. So with Cuban became so popular to dislike that there were times where Cuban, honest to God, was not a villain in the situation. She was actually a victim, but because Cuban was just so popular to hate, people just took whatever they heard about her. Cuban has had her fair share of being posted on blog pages and even making it to the tabloids from time to time. I won't say that Cuban is a saint, but there have been times where Cuban has been name dropped for the sake of getting people's attention. For starters, her infamous feud with Rocky B that resulted in Rocky being put in a dog cage and needing to go to the hospital was big news at the time. With Stunna Girl being the star of the new show Baddies West, this story has been making its rounds on the blogs again. But when this story first broke, people would only mention Cuban's name in the headlines, insinuating that she was the one that was the mastermind behind the attack. But it was later told once Stunna Girl and Cuban fell out that Stunna Girl was actually the mastermind, and Cuban pretty much just tagged along because of their previous beef with each other.
But I just want to know why ain't no bitch put me in no cage or...
Now, I'm not saying that she wasn't involved or that she shouldn't be held accountable, but the energy that was sent her way during that time, and even still to this day, is not the same as the energy that people are giving Stunna Girl. As I said with the Cardi B and Offset cheating scandal, Cuban was presented as the other woman when in actuality it was just a close friend of hers that name dropped her in an alleged conversation. Not to mention, she wasn't aware that her friend was even talking to Offset, nor did she even meet Offset.
Hey, you know, you're caught in this Cardi B Offset breakup. You're right in the middle of it. Is it true? Did you hook up with Offset?
No, I don't know him. I never spoke to him. I haven't never had no conversation with him. He wasn't actually texting me.
Yeah,
I'm just caught in the middle because my name in it, you know. The other girl, she has no name. She don't do nothing. It's
Summer Bunny?
Summer Bunny. It's all based off her trying to get clout. Like, that's the only thing it is. It's a bunch of clout chasing stuff. And my name caught in the middle of it because I have...
You never met him is what you're saying?
I never met him.
Really?
Never texted him. Never accepted no type of agreements with him.
Because
none of that.
According to the text, Summer Bunny was texting Offset in June about a threesome.
Yeah, I don't know.
You didn't know about that?
Me and her, we've been fell out. We're no longer friends. We have not been friends for a while.
Did you know about the text?
No, I never knew about the text till it got exposed. I really thought it was fake.
She has even been put into beefs with people just for being on the scene. To this day, people say that her, Suki, Stunna Girl, and Cold Killer jumped the rapper Little Kayla at Rollin' Loud, yet when you look at the video, Cuban wasn't even in the altercation. Now, Lil Kayla did get jumped, but it was by Stunna Girl and Cold Killer. It was mentioned that a girl with green hair had to get pulled off of Lil Kayla, but it wasn't Cuban.
Who beat my ass? Did I get my ass beat? Did I touch the floor or anything?
Nah, nigga, I had to pull you off the bitch. But I honestly thought they tried to jump you, you feel me? So I had to throw the green hair bitch off you. And then I seen the other one. I was letting y'all go one-on-one because you was already fucking her up. I don't even know why Cuban should have just kept walking. She shouldn't even... I don't know what
so
she
did
was
me and her
thinking.
fight? Because when I looked up, she was hella far back.
Nah, when you first started fighting, the first bitch, when you was tuning her up, she tried to run up and get you. I don't know what you did, but you banked that bitch or something. She ran off to the other side. That's why we was thinking
Because I'm like,
getting
I never
jumped.
seen Cuban dog. I don't know if it was Cuban or Suki because all I see is...
Nah, it wasn't a dick-sucking bitch. It wasn't the dick-sucking bitch.
It was anybody with a colorful wig.
Now, judging by the video, Cuban didn't throw a punch or even have commentary on the situation, yet you can see Suki being held back by security and yelling in the video. So why was Cuban mentioned in the fight, let alone in the diss song Little Kayla made, and she wasn't even involved? Her reputation was so bad that when she publicized her toxic relationship with Tato, she was laughed at for standing up for herself and disapproving of the song in relation to it.
Talking about my hip is broke. Bitch, you sitting down in the fucking hospital. Your hip ain't broke, bitch. Shut up. Shut up. You talking about I'm broke, bitch. No, you're the broken one. You the one that's broke. He broke your ass for sure. Literally. The fuck? Don't come on this bitch talking crazy to me. You and Tito. Y'all better get the fuck on. Fuck Cuban. That bitch over there mad as hell. Don't make yourself that mad while you got a black eye because that will kind of like make your head hurt. You feel me? Like, don't do that. You don't want to piss yourself off. The fuck? I'm broke, homeless, and happy, bitch. You got a car, or what you say, you got a mini condo and a nigga, and you get your ass beat. You get fucked on by 2 different niggas and getting your ass beat. Come on, now, like, that sucks. That sucks, bitch. The fuck is you talking about? That sucks right there.
I'm being a bad guy because I'm the only bitch that's saying something real besides picking the motherfucking side. No, I don't know Tato, and I barely even fucking know Cuban. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. But you can't run to social media feeling like the fucking victim if you keep running your ass through that. Like, y'all really making this a big ass deal. Domestic violence, oh my god, oh my god. Like, y'all bitches should have been like that the first time she said something, or the first time y'all seen something posted like that. Like, shut up. Now y'all trying to make this a big ass deal. Like, leave that girl alone. Let that shit go. The fuck, she is young. They might fuck around and get right back together a couple months later. The fuck, shut up. Let that shit go. And then y'all gonna be mad calling her stupid, right? She gonna be done? Let me find out. The fuck out of here.
But when she defended herself, she was somehow the bad guy.
But you gonna be tough all day. Ain't nobody gonna jump her.
Damn, I should have hit her while I had the
Yeah, she ready to go.
Yeah, you should have did that. You don't never run back.
So what's up?
Y'all scary, bro.
Scary.
She's still talking?
Yeah. Go ahead, hide in that car. Look at that bitch hide in the car. Go ahead, hide. Bye,
I know she's not gonna fight. Is she ducking?
She don't wanna fight. She don't wanna fight.
She don't wanna fight.
When people was trying to put that whole situation with Rocky B on you, how you felt about that?
About what?
That whole beef and that whole dog cage situation with Rocky B. They was trying to, a lot of people was trying to put that stamp on you, that you set her up.
What? Set up?
Yeah.
No, I don't think nothing like that.
Yeah. I felt it.
But when motherfuckers put up to the studio and jumped me and tried to take my shit and my purse and I got jumped by 4 bitches, it's okay.
Yeah.
But since I didn't go cry about it on the internet, since I didn't make paragraphs and posts and, cry out to the media, I guess it didn't happen. But when motherfuckers was going live, I beat up such and such. I snatched her wig off, eyelashes. When it's done to me, it's okay. But then I feel like people just be, that's another thing, like, people be praying on your downfall. People be like, I can't wait till this bitch get got. But if you retaliate or anything, or you up the skull motherfuckers, they don't like that. But, I mean, all that is alleged.
Yeah.
Again, I don't really care for 6ix9ine like that, but I will say that on behalf of Cuban Doll, he had the courage to stand up to not only Glow Gang, but practically all of Chicago, which led to a dangerous beef, to say the least. And unfortunately, Cuban got blamed for starting the beef and was even threatened by one of Chief Keef's baby mamas.
Well, on everything I love, Cuban Doll is so wrong for starting all this shit. She gotta get the shit smacked out of her. I don't give a fuck. What?
I ain't said a thing.
You don't gotta say shit, cause whatever I say, I say. And if
said what I said.
Bitch.
And while all of this was happening to Cuban, she finds out that her mom, that has been released from prison after all these years, was dying of cancer only a few days before she died.
When your mom ended up passing, is that one of the toughest times in your life that you feel like you went through? Kind of take me through that, like when your mom passed and how you found out in your mindset.
Okay, she never wanted to tell me, like, okay, we found out she had cancer, like, 2019 or whatever, and she would always be secretive about, like, how serious it was and all this, because she had cervix cancer, like, like, people live a long time and have cervix cancer or whatever, they take their radiation, people beat it all the time. She was just acting like everything was okay, like Mom. She never showed no signs of weakness or nothing like that. And, she had like a month to live and I didn't know. She was just like telling me to come to town. So my brother called me, he like, yeah, you need to come to town. She got a few days to live. And I'm like, what? So I flew in the next day. And then when I see my mom, she was just, like out of it, like from all the radiation and all that stuff. And they gave her too much radiation and caused her to bleed internally and rushed her death.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, I'm sorry to hear that. After your mom passed, like, was it a shift for you mentally? Like, what was the mental space?
It was definitely a shift. After my mom passed, I really didn't too much care about nothing. I feel like I was just so mad. Yeah.
What do you feel like you were mad at?
I just felt like it was not fair. Yeah.
because we look at it and just kind of doing my research and going through, like, you could see, like, just looking at your videos and it looked like you was searching. It almost looked like you felt like you was alone. Maybe of course I'm speculating. No, it's okay. It's all right.
I want to talk about that.
It's okay. Okay.
Like I said, I'm not giving her a pass for anything that she's done that was problematic, but just imagine how she must have felt. You move to a new city with your best friend just to fall out months later. As that same friend is telling your business to the world, your boyfriend is beating on you. In the beginning of your career, you're caught in multiple scandals that has nothing to do with you. You finally speak out against your ex and it's seen as a joke, and the mom that you've been waiting to spend time with has been hiding her illness from you until it's too late. Her actions don't surprise me. She's trying to fill a void. And to this day, Cuban finds herself in toxic situations that always end poorly.
You never had no loyalty towards me. And you just think that's okay. Then another thing is like, if you knew you wasn't gonna be with me, or if you knew you wasn't gonna do none of that stuff, you could've just said that, because we could've just with each other. Like,
hey, you so happy you got a video of me and Tato fucking from last year on my birthday or whatever when I was drunk. I don't give a fuck. It's the fact that my nieces and nephews gotta see that shit. They gotta get on the internet and see their auntie. You feel what I'm saying? That's the only thing that I just really care about. And my daddy got it, my family gotta see that. And for y'all bitches, the bitch has been holding the video over my head for about 6 months now. Like, I'm gonna post the video. Okay, go ahead. I've been telling the bitches to post it. I don't give a fuck, but. And then a bitch so lame because you took the video out of Tato's phone.
And I will say, Cuban has allowed a lot of people into her space, metaphorically and literally. She has let a lot of people live in her house, like, girl, no. And ultimately, again, a lot of these people were fake, and that led to the downfall of a lot of things that Cuban had in motion for herself. With Asian Doll, like I said earlier, to a degree, Asian Doll knows exactly what she's talking about. Asian Doll knows exactly what's going on. But because of her delivery on certain situations, she's always being perceived as crazy or arrogant. Like, at this point, there are a ton of people that really don't even take Asian Doll seriously as an artist. They take her as a joke. Like, she's a meme to people now.
I love platforms. Really, platforms mean a lot to me because when I first started running platforms, I want to say everybody hated it. Because they was like, oh, you're supposed to be this savage, you're supposed to be this gangster, you be talking about this and this and that, and look at how you dressing like a white girl, and you dressing like you gothic. And I just really laugh at shit like that. Because I be like, yo, them people who talk like that be the most insecure people ever. Like, you know what I'm saying? People who are motivated off me walking around with big shoes, that's the vibe.
Some of the harshest criticism for Black people when it comes to presenting outside of the norm comes from, well, other Black people, unfortunately. To be alternative and Black is to challenge some of the stereotypes and expectations imposed upon us. And I think due to the suppression of Black and Black femme contributions to the alt scene, and a general disapproval from our peers and especially our elders toward anything dark or occult, the idea of being alternative is seen as something opposed to our relationship with our Black identity.
I literally sit here and waited on my turn. When have you ever seen Asian Doll beef with this person? Asian Doll, I ain't never started with a bitch. All these hoes come for me. And you want to know why you motherfuckers feel like y'all can blame me for every motherfucking thing? Because my skin's darker and y'all want to put me in that ghetto bitch category, hoe. That's the only motherfucking thing it is. That's the only reason why y'all hate me so motherfucking much. That's the only reason why. Because, bitch, a bitch can say Asian just killed the hoe. Y'all gonna believe that shit. Asian just did this. Asian just said this. Y'all gonna believe that shit. And and colorism is real. I'm not targeting y'all. I'm not saying, hey, everybody, fuck all the light skins. I'm just standing up for what the fuck I believe in and what the fuck I know these young girls need.
Okay. Do you believe in colorism? And do you feel like it's easier as a female rapper to, like, make it big when you're, like, of a lighter complexion?
believe in colorism. Colorism is very real. It's
Yeah.
a very real thing, for sure. And it definitely is easier for, not to take away from anybody who is a light skinned rapper, but it's definitely easier for a woman with a lighter complexion to blow up quicker than a dark skinned woman, for sure. Like I've seen dark skinned women have, because I'm like right in the middle. Honestly speaking, I'm like in the middle. I'm not obviously like, I wouldn't even consider myself like, to say that I'm like a dark skinned rapper would be doing a disservice to the women who are darker than me who are rappers, and that are really fucking talented. I've seen them have to work 110 times harder and lyrically be more skilled lyrically, have better visuals. Notice a pattern. That's what I will say. You notice a pattern, like there could be an influx of light-skinned rappers and they wouldn't necessarily have to be as talented lyrically or put as much effort into their visuals.
Can a rapper, though, be successful from clout chasing?
A lot of them. What? It's like 80% of the rappers right now. But they get all that shit and that shit go down the drain. They fuck it all up because they ain't meant to have it. How you got it, think you was cheating. That's like a cheat. You know you cheating to get it anyways. So that shit don't even last.
It's like a new wave of female rappers that have guns in their videos. A lot of people, you know, they like to say that you started that whole trend.
Duh. That's the new wave. I think female scene, they looked at me going viral every day and wrote down in their pad what the fuck I was doing and how I was moving, and they did the same thing. And they got the same recognition. It was just a matter of time until it started being like a trend.
I mean, but like I said, I stick up for you because people always gonna mention the Katie got bands and stuff like that, but a lot of these new female rappers didn't pop off until you started what you was doing.
Yeah, facts. Then why you think I be so unbothered? Facts.
I mean, because it's like at the end of the day, a lot of times the originator really never gets the credit that
that's normal. All these new rappers, they got my flow. Like, you just listen, they got everything that I said and say is be recycled. Free my brother out the feds, recycled. No flocking flow, recycle. Everything I do is like a recycle. I had no choice but to switch my shit up. It's like I'm gonna be saying this. It's like we all gonna be, like saying the same shit. Just like, you feel me? So I had no choice. But and the type of person I am, I can switch shit up and make it a trend. I'm a trendsetter. Like I can do this and everybody get hip to this. I'ma stop and do this. That's what I do. I do that shit best. So, I do that shit best. So,
you know, it's a viral tweet that's going on right now. I know you probably see it.
Yeah, I seen it.
And it's 4 rappers in it. It's you, Cuban Doll, Asian Doll, and Rico Nasty. And you know, a lot of people are reminiscing. You know, when y'all all first came out. You know, it was a different time back then. It was fun. It was new.
Yeah, we was the original trap girls, for real.
Facts. And y'all took a lot of flack for what's going on now. Like nowadays, when girls come out, you know, it's not too much hatred towards what they're doing. It's like y'all laid down the blueprint. Would you agree with that?
Exactly. We walked so these bitches could run. We did something so big that it impacted so many people and so many females come out like with the flow and with the sound, you know, and just everything. And it's really more cool to see that people were able to really take what we did and, you know, like keep it going, like keep doing it in their own version, you know, their own style. So I think it's really cool. Like, I ain't gonna lie though, at first I was mad as fuck, but.
So even when she has valid reasons, people just see her as crazy and violent because she out here fighting everybody, making rash decisions to delete random songs and stuff, like, you know. Not to mention that once Cuban Doll was no longer in a lot of Asian Doll's videos, you definitely seen the views and the content switch. People weren't more likely to tune into her stuff anymore simply because Cuban wasn't going to be in the video. Again, that has everything to do with colorism. It does. It has to do with colorism, but it also has to do with the fact that the OG fans just really missed their bond. That's what kind of made them tune into the videos. And lastly, that was such a missed opportunity because imagine the music that we would have gotten if Asian Doll and Cuban Doll would have just stayed friends. The few songs that we did get from them when they did have that period of time where they were cool with each other was fire. It was everything. It was amazing. Asian Doll was real lyrical and real gritty, and then you got Cuban Doll that's good for making the turn up music and the talking shit music. Like, they just went together and fed off each other's energy really well. It's very unfortunate that we're never going to experience that again. And just imagine Asian Doll, Cuban Doll, and Molly together. Like, literally the pioneers of the trap girl era making a mixtape together. That'll shut everything down. But yeah, it's wishful thinking. We ain't ever about to get that, child. So y'all are probably wondering, why exactly did they fall out? Like, what made them not be friends anymore? Honestly, it hasn't been clearly stated by either one of them. They all have their own renditions of what happened and how they feel, but there's no clear, concise way of like how it came to be. Basically, the consensus is that Asian Doll just felt like Cuban Doll was hating on her, and it went from there. That's it. But I will say that there are a few theories out there as to why the two girls fell out. So I've jotted down 3 different theories, and one of them is one of my personal opinions, but these are the 3 common theories that I've seen amongst the fan base. So let me start off with my own personal opinion. I truly believe that there was somebody in the middle of both of them that was playing both sides. I truly believe that. 100%. I truly believe that. And not to bring it up again, but I felt the same way about the Cardi B and the Nicki Minaj situation. I think that there is somebody putting a bug in each and every one of their ears and basically saying like, oh, this person said this about you and she said this about you. And because these girls are pretty much like in different lanes of their own, it's kind of hard for them to come together and settle that difference. And there are certain situations where it's like, even if it's false, if it matches with the person's character, people tend to run with it and believe it. And I truly feel like somebody was probably telling Asian Doll that Cuban Doll was doing all this sneaky stuff behind her back. And since Asian was already in an era where she's like doing really, really good for herself, which of course brings a lot of new enemies, she was probably like, you know, hyper aware and very alert and just assumed that everybody was coming for her. Not to mention she moved out of her hometown. So like the only person that she really has is Cuban. So she's probably real nervous about that as well. Like, what if this girl fake? What if she's lying to me? So that's very plausible. The second theory that's out there is that Cuban Doll and Asian Doll had a very codependent relationship with each other. So for those that need clarification on what a codependent relationship is, it is essentially when one or even both parties are heavily reliant on each other and heavily depend on each other. And at times it can get very, very complicated and very, very toxic. So it's a possibility that they had a very unhealthy codependent relationship, and the moment that Cuban Doll decided that she wanted an identity outside of Barbie Doll Gang or outside of Asian Doll's limelight, it's a possibility that Asian Doll took offense to that, feeling like her friend was distancing herself from her intentionally, and that just caused that big blow up. Because again, Cuban Doll did play a major part in that girl's come up. She essentially is the reason why she got to work with so many artists. She was purposely used as a thumbnail for a lot of Asian Doll's music videos because people were more likely to click on it if Cuban Doll, the light-skinned girl out of the group, was the one that was front and center on the page. She was her DJ, she was her hairstylist, sometimes her makeup artist. Like, she promoted a lot of her music by herself. Like, there was a lot of things that Cuban was doing for her, and it's a possibility that maybe Asian Doll felt some type of way about that the moment that Cuban decided, hey, I want to try my hand in music too. Because while they were a duo, there were a lot of people that just assumed that Cuban Doll was rapping as well. Whole time she was just a video vixen. She was just the best friend that was always there. So it's a possibility that maybe something like that happened. She probably felt like she was losing her friend and she latched onto her real tight, and that just caused them to fall out. And the last theory that is out there, obviously, there are a lot of people that just have come to the conclusion that maybe Asian Doll is just a terrible person and everything that we've known about her is a complete lie. Now, I've met some friendships where they'll dog each other out when they fall out and be right back cool. And I don't think that they're necessarily not a real friend group because of that. But I will say, in my personal opinion, if I fall out with somebody and the moment that we fall out, they turn around and dog me out, that lets me know that you've never been my friend. That lets me know that you've never been cool with me. You've always had an issue with me, and everything that comes out your mouth is fake. Straight like that. So I will say, like, it can be heavily supported just off of that. Like, the fact that for a long time, Cuban was actually saving face and wasn't really addressing it, even though it was asked of her. And the moment that Asian Doll felt like it was something suspicious going on, she just completely dropped her. Because again, I do research for these videos, and there was a point in time where her and Cuban had got cool again and then fell out again during their first initial fallout. And that was probably for like at most a month, maybe a month and a half. So who knows, maybe it really is a situation where Asian Doll is just like really, really mean. Not to mention that there was also a point in time where Ty Taylor from the Taylor Girls had a very similar story to what Cuban was talking about.
So she ended up,
Yeah.
she ended up, she wasn't supposed to come to the studio with me. I was supposed to come myself, but she ended up coming. Y'all know my little friendly ass. So y'all, why come Future asked me to play my shit? Why? I guess like they was vibing to my stuff, but like, why she get up and try to play her shit? I said, girl, you got. I'm like, you gotta put in work for this. You just can't, bitch. You know how much work I done put in. Like,
That's what I'm saying. You need to stop being so.
I seen it on Future's face. Future was like, he made like a sound when she had to play her music. He was like, like he did like that. So I'm reading his mind like he don't want to play that shit. So I'm like, nah, I'm like, you tripping? Like this is about Asian. He said Asian play her music, not you. Hey.
He said Asian Doll. Time to start checking.
Okay, so we there. So like we have video footage and we're gonna put it here on the video. You will see them pulling up, Asian getting out the car, getting her bags and stuff. She get in the car with her manager. Her manager lit the window down and he's like, oh, y'all come to the studio. We finna go to the studio. Follow me to the studio. So we like, okay. Asian let the window down. She's like, oh, who riding in the car with y'all? Who in that other seat with y'all? I said, nobody. You can get up here. You can get in here. So she hopped out. You gonna see her get out the car with her manager and get in the car with us. So I don't understand how you didn't know nobody was going to the studio when you got out your manager's car and got in the car with us. Right, you could have pulled off and be like, I'm gonna fuck with y'all later. Right, if you didn't want us to be there, if you felt like we was, you know what I'm saying, on some grimy shit, you would have just been like, oh nah, it's cool, I'm gonna just go with my peoples and you know, I'll see y'all later. A bitch wouldn't have felt no type of way because bitch, I ready to go home anyway. She tried to spin the situation like this was her session with Future. Future paid for her to be there. Like this is just their shit. We walked in, Future playing all his shit. He playing all his unreleased music. It's hella artists in there. It's just a vibe. It's a bunch of creators. It's not just one artist in Future and then we just pull up. It wasn't like that. It was hella artists in there. So he played about 20 songs, all his unreleased music. Then Asian Doll get up and play her music. She took her phone off of the cord as if she ran out of songs and it wasn't enough for her to play. Like she done played her shit. That's all she wanted y'all to hear. He walks up and like, hey, play, you got some hard shit too, play your shit. Like, come on, like we all in this bitch working, we all in this bitch networking, play your shit. So I'm like, all right, I done what was asked of me. So you think I didn't put in enough work, I can't play my music? That's like some hating ass shit to say. I would never say that to a friend. What I can honestly say what really hurt me about the situation is like the belittlement in the little girl. Like she really tried to look girly. She tried to look girly. Like, oh, you ain't work hard enough. Bitch, at the end of the day, if you want to be real, neither one of us work hard enough. Neither one of us got a platinum plaque, gold plaque compared to Future, bitch. Neither one of us need to be in the studio with Future. At this point, our resumes and his resumes do not line the fuck up. Period. We both got more work to do.
And there are multiple artists that have vouched and said that, you know, Asian Doll really isn't as nice as y'all think she is. Like sometimes she can be real fugazi, sometimes she's fake.
Bitches got fake pages writing us because we still talk to Cuban and shit like that. So like I don't think that record would ever get leaked and shit. You know, I don't know. It shouldn't get leaked.
We knew that record wasn't gonna get put out the day we recorded it.
Exactly. It's just like some friendly shit. It's just
we
like
don't be on no
shit.
fake shit. Like we see through the bullshit, basically. And you know, like, take it how you want to take it. Like, we see through the bullshit, and we knew that when we left Atlanta, that record wasn't gonna get put out.
Yeah. And when you say,
I mean, it's just basically bad blood with us and Asians right now. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not finna sit up here and play. It's most definitely bad blood because like the things that we talked about and that personally talked about, we know like it's no fans making no page inboxing us. It's either somebody you close to coming at us telling us we not on shit like that. It's bad blood. And if like I said,
she be sneaking.
Most definitely it's bad blood. And I'm not trying to just a well-out interview on that situation. Like I'm gonna say, if you got a problem, like I don't know, we could catch flights, whatever. You got my phone number. If you had a problem, you just could have hit my line. Don't make fake pages, point blank period, because I don't know.
Don't make fake pages sneaking, because before you didn't, like, basically the way I feel about the situation is that, we tried that nice approach. We went with open arms. When we went to Atlanta, we had open arms. We had high spirits about everything, and at the end of the day, it wasn't mutual. Like, it was shaded. It wasn't genuine, basically. The feelings weren't mutual, and the feelings were definitely not genuine.
She texted my phone saying, did we block her? Yes, we blocked you. We sure did. And I had called. I'm like, what, you trying to step down on me? Like, I don't know what hoe she be playing with and shit like that. I ain't that hoe. I smack a bitch.
They
like
think
that.
we like that because we be nice and jolly at first and we got colorful hair. Bitches think we be on some fruity shit. You try to step down when you think that we wasn't on that type of shit. Now you got to come out from a fake page. Nah, do that shit how you did it the first time. Call us again. So what's up? Y'all got pressure? Y'all fuck with Cuban. Y'all don't fuck with me no more? I thought we talked about it. Let us know you feeling the type of way. Don't come at us on no fake page type shit. But I mean, enough about that. Let's talk about this Savage Sisters album that we done dropped though.
There's even this one girl that had alleged that Asian Doll actually scammed her out of some money and never wanted to do a feature with her. She even has her own receipts to prove that as well.
I hit this bitch up like, see what's good for a feature. Her manager called me, him or whoever, telling me to send my contact information. It's April 24th, 2017. Call me April 25th. I missed the call. I called back though. Like she up in the studio right now, whatever, sending the money. I'm skeptical. I sent half to the bitch. And so I sent $500. It's her rushing for the money with her broke ass. Or whatever. I told her basically, I'm not sending shit till I hear half the song. She tried to send me some stupid shit. Oh, look at this. Bitch, what you need the beat again for? So she started making me skeptical. So now I'm really like, okay, I need to hear something. Like, I don't understand. But I understand. Some people just, they have you pay them and then they send you the song once they finish. But for some reason, it just was seeming like I couldn't trust it. I don't know. She just seemed funny. That's why I'm like, I'm going to send half. I'm like, this ain't no motherfucking song. And the bitch, like, she not in she not in Atlanta no more. She in Texas. Can I send the money to Texas? She tripping off the money and talk about something. I'm not finna sweat you by no feature. You're lost. And I tell her, like, I'm busy. You ain't say, I did my part. I sent the money. You ain't never say you going to Texas, my nigga. I sent it to Atlanta because that's where she was. This bitch is out here motherfucking scamming is what y'all need to be worried about. That's the motherfucking big picture. That is the big picture. The bitch had no intentions on ever giving me a song. I don't know, somebody told her to hit me so that this shit don't be blown up all big or whatever, have the bitch looking bad. But the whole thing is, she said she didn't have time to contact me about the song, but she had time to block me. Block my number, block my pages, and hella shit. So how do you not ignore my email? So that's all I'm clearing up. Like, hello?
Hey, first of all, little bitch, why you all on Instagram? I had the fucking song, bitch. I'm busy. I got a motherfucking life. My manager's in front of that. So first of all, before you jump on social media, bro, give a bitch time to say something back.
You had more than enough time to hit me. You had more. I don't want to hear none of that shit. I don't want to hear none of that shit. You had more than enough time to hit me, my nigga. Your manager should know how to handle shit. The fuck? He a manager. What the fuck is he doing?
But again, do we know any of these people on a personal level to be able to vouch for this and say that? No, we don't. But there is a lot of evidence that backs up that theory. So we really don't know. We really don't. Until one of them girls comes out and says it themselves clearly, wholeheartedly, straight to the point, we really don't know. So that brings us to our last segment. Where are these girls now and what are they up to? So Asian Doll, also known as Asian the Brat, is still out making music. Since the split, she has had a total of 5 albums and 4 mixtapes. For the most part, she's very successful in her career, but unfortunately there are a lot of people that know her as not only the girl that claims that everybody is copying her, but also as the ex-girlfriend of King Von, a rapper that had recently passed away. It seems that now her legacy is her ex more than it is her actual artistry, which is very unfortunate, but knowing Asian Doll, she probably doesn't care because she's still getting paid, so you know. And she's also known now as being the girl that got dropped from Gucci Mane's label, but according to her, she actually never got dropped. In 2018, she signed with his label 1017, but at the start of 2020, she decided that she was going to leave the label due to creative differences and just feeling like she couldn't really put out the music that she wanted to. Also, since the split, she has been arrested twice, which has led to the creation of these 2 beautiful album covers. Cuban Doll, also known as Cuban the Savage, took off with her music career, releasing 5 mixtapes and working with various artists in her prime. At one point, she was signed to Capitol Records and eventually got dropped. Unfortunately, similar to Asian Doll, she is not widely known for her artistry, let alone her affiliation with Barbie Doll Gang. She is mostly known for her public fallouts with various different people, her altercation involving her, Stunna Girl, and Rocky B, and relationship drama including the passing of her ex, Jada Youngin. Now it seems like as of recently they still aren't friends, according to one of Cuban Doll's most recent interviews.
And I don't know, how old were you when you met Asian? 15, 16?
I was young as hell. It was young. Probably about 14.
Being where you are now, like
13, 14.
Age-wise and looking back, do you feel like a lot of the shit was just bullshit that y'all fell out over now that you're just older and more mature? Or is it still very valid?
It's everything is very valid. Everything got a point. Everything, like, I don't know. Some people just gotta separate.
And that's cool.
To elevate.
Sometimes we outgrow some people.
Like, yeah, that's what I think. People outgrow each other for being around so long. Like, we wasn't born together. We're not family, so we gonna have, you know, disagreements and stuff.
Got you.
But on the bright side, it does seem like they're still on good terms, considering the fact that they have had a few interactions with each other, they've went live with each other, and they have now been able to be in the same room with each other without fighting each other. And you can actually see Cuban Doll supporting some of Asian Doll's music. So from the looks of it, it was a rough beginning, but a happy ending, or at least a cordial ending, I should say. So guys, that is what happened to Barbie Doll Gang, the friendship between Asian Doll and Cuban Doll. If you guys enjoyed this video, please do not forget to like this video. Comment down below why you think they fell out. What are your theories on the situation? And do we deserve a collab album one time for the one time? Let that be known in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and of course, share if you can. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.
I'm not with nobody.